thud, 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 thud. Saw, saw, saw.
You look like a man who is definitely not fed up.
You
look like a man who has plenty of patience left to go.
And then don't forget the sound of the tool getting dropped on the floor.
Well, that's not a very Tool-like sound. But
No, but that's
use
how
your imagination.
That's how I woke up just about every weekday for the last 3 weeks.
Wait, seriously? 3?
I thought it was 2. Turns out it was 3.
That's fun.
Man, oh man. I can sleep through a lot. I got voted best sleeper back in high school. I have always been, yeah.
Why was that a thing?
Because I'd fucking doze the fuck off during class.
Oh.
Always conked out. Always.
Oh.
Sleeping standing up, sleeping sitting down, sleeping whatever position, hard floor, soft floor, anything.
Yeah.
Sleep. It's fucking sleep, man.
Yeah.
It's that what is it? It's that old goddess speaking a dead language, just sucking you off. Right? That was the metaphor. Sleep is the best, and I boy do sure know how to get some. However, that is not a pleasant way to wake up.
You know, it's funny because I'm probably the lightest sleeper I've ever encountered, except for construction noises. For whatever reason, construction shit doesn't really bother me. Because it blocks out all other noise. So I have a white noise machine in my house, specifically to block out the stupid noises that would otherwise keep me up. Like any creaking or ticking or what have you.
Does that actually work?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've listened to like white noise on like headphones, and I kind of was like, this doesn't seem. I don't know. I haven't really experimented enough with it, but.
Well, remember, Wooly, I'm also dealing with the Darth Vader-esque noises of my sleep apnea machine.
Well, there is this too. I suppose. It's fine. It just means that when all the fucking construction is done and out, then we can actually start working.
Uh-huh.
So let's do that. Although we're gonna lose light for sure. It's fine. It's a nice day.
It's a beautiful day. I walked here. It was pretty.
It's a pleasant day outside.
I saw construction because this is Montreal, and it is required that I see construction.
Birds chirping, Johnny on the corner, hard hats, and OSHA violations.
Hey,
as far as the eye can see.
You should put that truck there.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jimmy. Should he put that truck there? I don't know, Bobby.
You see the fucking scaffolding this fucker over here? You see what he put together? Look at that shit.
Montreal.
Look at that shit. That bolt is halfway off the sidewalk. The fuck were you thinking?
One guy with a shovel, 5 guys to make sure he's shoveling properly.
Shout outs to the subreddit dedicated to horrible construction site violations and huge safety hazards.
Are you like deep diving on obscure ass like feel good nightmare subreddits?
I mentioned it when I first started talking about it, but I never used to like browse general purposes, whatever. I would specifically I never had the app. I would just open up the website and go to the best friend subreddit. That's the only place I would ever go.
Yeah.
And then of course instant karma and justice porn.
Yeah.
Accidental Renaissance.
Yeah.
Entered the rotation.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
And that was about it.
Yeah.
That was about it. And then recently, thanks to Punch Mom, I started wasting my time with others and have been since expanding and exploring out, for just like quick 5-minute time wasters. And I'm finding some fucking solid shit that I didn't know I needed. I mentioned last time that it's more of an Instagram page, but dynamic automation is just machines doing machining things.
Yeah, I like that.
Super soothing
and
and awesome.
That's nice.
Really great. But OSHA, OSHA, just the Operational Safety and Hazards Association, like just anyone that puts a fucking stack of metal beams rife for impaling human life
yes
on a table that's bending and the table is making it's making like a happy face.
Yeah.
Curve.
It's fine.
It's like a closed bracket.
It's fine, man.
You know, and you're just like, yeah, that's great. That table was meant to handle tons of weight. Perfect. Good job.
I might be wrong. In fact, I probably am. But I always got the impression that construction has so many fatalities purely because someone cut a corner somewhere.
Time.
Like, properly vetted and procedured construction doesn't often have pieces of the building just snap loose and impale you.
Yes, and that's because engineering is a sound, hard profession that knows that if you do things correctly, predictable results will occur, and predictable safety will occur.
With some fringe cases with certain types of buildings.
For the most
math
part.
Is tough, and
right?
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but you cut corners because you want to save time, and while we all know that nothing wastes time like trying to save time, nothing takes life like trying to save time.
That's right.
Because, like, yeah, I'm scrolling past how many electrical plugs sitting in sewer puddles.
You know what's a really good example of that doesn't cost life but does cause fear? You know those radio towers and cell towers and all that shit? The ones that have light bulbs or electronics like miles up that need to be replaced by a human being?
Yep.
You know the vast majority of those repairmen and women don't use any of the safety shit?
Right.
Because it makes the trip like 3 times as long.
Because they just Lara Croft it.
Well, because what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to hook yourself on and then climb up 4 steps and then unhook yourself. Well, sorry, hook the second one, then unhook the bottom one, climb 4 steps, hook the second one, right, etc., right? Takes forever. And this is a trip that takes hours.
Yeah. So, again, faith in engineering is how we live our lives, because every time I walk around downtown and I see a crane up, right?
You mean a crane that rises 1,000 feet in the air,
That's
weighing
correct.
multiple tons?
Yes.
That is nonsensically extending
Yes.
another mile,
right?
No, not a mile, but a couple hundred feet over an open thoroughfare or a school.
Your initial understanding of gravity and fear
goes
tells you that shouldn't be there. That shouldn't make sense. That's a death trap. But engineering says, no.
It's fine.
The base is so unbelievably heavy.
Yeah.
And the girders at the bottom are so much thicker than the ones at the top.
Yeah.
That it can't tip over. It's like a Christmas tree.
Except for the ones that tip over.
And then you see the video of the one that tips over. And you kind of in your head go, well, when a crane goes up, there's got to be some sort of mechanic or like...
I imagine there's supposed to be guide wires and
some
stuff,
sort of
right?
clearance thing in place to like... And then you see the one of the thing just falling and going right through the house. And I'm just like, nope.
Yeah.
That's
I
cursed,
love that.
cursed knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't need to know that living my life at any point, a falling crane might just stop in and say, hello.
Man, I'll do you one better. Every building that I'm ever in which I'm the 3rd floor and up, I'm like, this building could just fall over.
Okay, well no.
You don't know that.
I mean,
Everyone that's been in a building that fell over thought that the building they were in wasn't going to fall over.
But when you see those videos of like the wobbling buildings, but they're actually better because they can
like
wobble.
A good old skyscraper.
Yeah, that shit's like fucking terrifying, but it's actually genius, right? It's like the plane wing that
winds and
bends
shit.
to extreme degrees. Yeah.
Oh man, you know what this whole conversation reminds me of? So Montreal's an old city, to those of you who don't know. It's got a lot of ancient ass buildings. And I don't know if you remember, Wolves, but like 5, 6, 7 years ago, there was a couple having like a romantic dinner. I think they were fiancés, and like a slab just
fell
came
on a
off
lady.
that building and just took one of them the fuck out. Just like snap.
Yep, lady got crushed by the slab.
And it came down that's like, well, the city inspector that was supposed to look at it and marked it good probably didn't look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're supposed to inspect building exteriors for that kind of shit.
And then mark down like a bathroom check at a McDonald's when the last time someone went in and cleaned that shit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get slabbed.
And there was also that woman who, she was fine, I think, but her car got destroyed because a part of the overpass that is now gone, the one over on the west end of the island, well, not the west end of the island, but near, like, Angrino-ish, you know, all those overpasses there?
Yeah, yeah.
One of those, just fucking slab of concrete, just fell off the bottom. And now you drive under that shit, and all you see is, like, a bunch of fucking stapled nets on the underneath of the overpasses to catch the big rocks.
Man, like, there's just something though. Like back in Grenada, I mean, I mentioned it a while ago, but there was a fucking bus that, well, we don't have buses, they had minivans, right? But there was a minivan that was just rounding a corner, and it just did it at the exact time that this ancient boulder that's been there since the beginning of time, this giant fucking vehicle-sized boulder just decided to fall off the mountain and roll down the hill at the exact moment. And, like, you're just like, what is fate? What is destiny? What is God?
Luckily, everyone was fine, right?
Yeah, if by fine you mean pancake.
I did mean that.
And unfortunately, the closest police station was the central one where we were living, and they just hauled that thing over, and, like, it's pretty hard to do full cleanup when you're peeling a van off of a boulder. So, like, little Wooly got a little bit scarred by seeing some pieces.
Yeah, well,
wasn't great.
Yeah,
and I heard a similar thing happen to, like, literally a church bus. I heard there was a church bus full of nuns.
Wooly, what?
And it was, that happened. And you're just like, what is this life? Man. Engineering or not, sometimes there's just that moose that decides to walk across the street, and if you're driving and you fucking hit it, that moose ain't having a bad day.
All right, Wooly, I want to ask you a question. I already came up with an answer as I was listening to this, but I want to hear your opinion first. Construction-based and or natural terrain-based nightmare that is the actual worst for you possible. Like, is it a boulder? Is it a building falling over? Is it a fucking crack in the earth from the earthquake? Is it
not which would I prefer, but what is the worst?
Which is the worst?
Well, the problem with that is the fear that someone might do it to me.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't think anyone's gonna drop a bus on you.
No, I suppose not. Fine. I'll put this out there in the world.
Okay.
Falling into that endless crack.
So, as I was listening to you, my mind went sinkhole.
The sinkhole? Here's the thing about the sinkhole. Terrifying to look at from the outside.
Yeah.
Right? When you're in it, it's a big splat and you're probably done.
Yeah.
The endless crack that falls so
goes
far
to the
deep
Earth's mantle
that like you're seeing a pin drop of light.
Yeah.
You can't even lift your arm up to end yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, you're talking like the glacier crack?
I'm talking I'm talking that you're hiking up somewhere you shouldn't be, going into the fucking triple diamond territory.
Yeah.
And I'm using skiing fucking difficulty.
Yeah.
And you just fall into the one that's the perfect size for humans.
Yeah.
And you go right down until it eventually starts to close up, and then you're just lodged in there, and that's the end of that. But your arms are by your side, so you're not moving. So you're just hanging out. Hope you don't got claustrophobia.
There was a guy...
That's the nightmare.
I forget the...
Hope you can bite your tongue real good.
He went spelunking and managed to crawl into a one-way hole that, for some reason, the mechanics of this curve meant that a human body could crawl in head first but not come back out because of the way our ribcage works.
Christ.
And he starved to death in it. And there was a massive rescue attempt, but just no, like it's like hundreds of feet deep, and it's all stone. If they tried to dig around it, it would all collapse, and just like, nope, no way to get out.
Facing the wrong way.
Facing the wrong way, like legs dangling out of an opening. Just stuck.
True fear.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if you have access to someone from, like, rib cage down. Can you intravenously...
Or to what end?
I don't know. You know? Like,
yeah, you'd probably do some shit.
Can you provide them with air and like water?
Yeah, probably.
By just like cutting holes in places. I don't know, man. That's just a fuck. Yeah. Exactly. 127 hours, that movie, right?
Yeah.
You know? Amigara Fault.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the art piece that recently got created. It's a human shaped corridor
that has no visible end.
Yes. Enter.
Don't care for that.
Enter it.
Nah.
See, and I would be way more comfortable entering it backwards. However, because
because you can see the end. Yeah, right. Of course, yeah.
But then you don't know what's behind you. So what's in there, right? If someone can hard confirm that nothing's in there, then I'm fine. But like everything about your survival is like you need to know where the exit is, and you need to see where the threat is. Mm. And if you can't detect both at the same time, you don't know which is worse.
I don't care for this.
Yeah, this entire discussion, actually, I don't care for it. But if you wanted to ask, that's where it goes.
Yeah, man.
Nothing to me is worse than the crack.
Yeah. I find the sinkhole nightmarish because the sinkhole doesn't even...
You never see the bottom.
It doesn't correspond to earthquakes or disaster.
Yeah.
It just appears.
Structural weakness.
It's totally random.
Yeah.
Like, it's very easy to tell afterwards, like, oh, there was an underground stream here for 1,000 years and dug it out of the
And there's always there's the news reports where you see it's the flyby shot where it's like, it's this intersection is just gone.
Yeah, and it's a hole into hell.
Right? Like, horrifying from a distance.
Yeah.
Right? Again, once you're in there, you're just dropping and you're done. Right?
Some of them are real deep, though, so you're dropping for a good while.
But the one that happened in this poor fuck's living room, in his house.
Contained to his house?
It was in his area, and it was like just unlucky. It happened right underneath this dude's house, and it was like a smaller sinkhole. And you're just like, that's just fucking RNG, man.
That's a thumb from a pie.
That's fucking RNG. Just gets you. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
And then there's dumb shit like Centralia.
What's Centralia?
Centralia is a city in the United States that is currently mostly abandoned because it is perpetually on fire. It is forever on fire because some dumb fucks accidentally lit the coal mine underneath the town on fire.
And that's not going out anytime soon.
It may burn forever.
That's not how energy conservation works.
Yeah, well, for you and me, it's gonna burn forever.
Yeah.
And it has, like, active sinkhole activity. Because when the coal burns, it creates, like, a hole in the earth, which causes the weight to shift.
Yeah.
And then when the cracks appear, toxic coal gas shoots out of the earth.
I just fucking, like, the other day decided, because I've done it, like, twice before, where I'm just like, it's that time of year, time to go look up drone footage of Chernobyl. Right? Time to just go check out what that looks like. And,
they got a big plan to fix the sarcophagus.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. No way. Come on. How? What device? Because people, you go in, you're done. You send in a machine, right? And if I'm not mistaken, like anything metallic just amplifies it.
Well, it would, but anything you send in there, you're gonna leave in there. You're not gonna
making
take
it worse. And
no, it doesn't make it worse.
Okay.
It just stores it quite strongly.
Right, okay.
They're basically planning to put a dome over the entire reactor.
Okay, the dome plan. I've heard the dome plan for years.
And yes. They're going to be using drones and automated shit from safe areas in the city.
And moving them in.
And they're going to be like basically sealing off the whole thing. Because that by the way, the sarcophagus is the metallic shell that was built by heroes who were not told what radiation is around the Chernobyl open blast site. There's a lot of radiation in there, and that thing is coming down whether we like it or not. And if it comes down for even a second, we get Chernobyl 2.
In the air this time.
Well, it was in the air the first time. But this one just won't have an explosion. It'll just be like a seep. Like,
well,
Chernobyl,
the collapse equals dust into the air, equals particles moving out.
Chernobyl was like shitting your pants, right? And everyone around you had to deal with that. The sarcophagus failing is like your diaper falling off. The
Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
Just drop the dome on it.
Yeah. But yeah, that shit needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I mean, Chernobyl 2, I mean, what, not Fukushima,
Yeah.
right? I got, you know, like there's other, and not to mention, I was reading about...
Chernobyl's specific because Chernobyl's reactor core outside the sarcophagus is exposed to open air.
As opposed to being...
You can look at
right.
it from a helicopter if you took the sarcophagus off.
Right. Whereas Fukushima was submerged.
It was all internal submerged bullshit.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah. God, there was a city that just got fucking wiped off the map. And they just pretended it never existed.
Yeah, well.
It was... Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So...
I'm a big proponent of nuclear power not even being ironic. We should have more nuclear power plants.
Like Simpsons style?
No.
Just giant open fucking... You want more nuclear power plant? I mean... I heard an argument I literally heard an argument about someone saying like why it's a good idea.
You could power the entire North American continent with like 200 power plants.
Or whatever. But you just got to get okay with the idea that we might fuck up.
Yeah, well. I trust Canadian, Mexican, and American engineers a lot more than 1980s Russian engineers.
Okay, here, I got it. The whole plant is built on those crazy fucking new rockets that we have, so that if shit goes wrong, just launch it to space like a Terran command base.
I want to point out that at one point there was an idea to float nuclear waste to space.
Just float it up, right? And I know, right? Space debris, huge problem.
That's not the problem.
But now, right? Giant nuclear hazard in the atmosphere, but just keep going.
Well,
Shoot it way past.
Do you want to know why nuclear waste will never leave this planet?
Because if it happens to pull a Challenger in the atmosphere,
because of the Challenger
that's
disaster.
the end of the world.
The Challenger disaster killed every possible argument for that idea.
The end of the world.
Yeah. Oops.
Life is over.
We've irradiated every cloud in the world.
We tried to make energy a little bit cheaper. We tried to give
it too cheap.
Tried to make it a little bit nicer so you get a little bit off on your phone bill.
Yeah.
You know, turns out we extinguished all life on planet Earth.
Nuclear waste isn't that bad compared to, like, carbon waste. You know how everyone's terrified of nuclear waste, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of space that nobody lives. Just dump it in the middle of Iowa. Nobody would ever even notice. But carbon waste? You can't even solidify it and store it. It goes straight up into the air.
So I don't know anything about carbon waste.
You know, you burn coal?
Yeah.
Coal's made of carbon.
Oh, yeah, okay. Right.
Goes into the air.
Yeah.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
That whole thing?
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's worse than nukes?
Well, millions and millions and millions
radiation?
and millions of tons of it
Yeah.
is, yes, worse than nuclear waste.
But you can live in a city that's got smog and shit going on around it, and up in it, it's going to be unhealthy as fuck, but you can.
Eventually.
Radiation kills you in days. Right?
You're talking.
I'm
okay.
coming. I don't know.
Okay. Here's the thing with the carbon thing. Yes, but climate.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes a fucking oopsie, we went too far.
Okay, but the difference in my brain is one of them is like China, for example, where air becomes a precious commodity.
Poison. Yes.
Right? And it sucks, but hey, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then the other is no actual poison hazard danger zone.
Yeah. The difference is
like you walked into the wrong door in Metroid.
Yeah. The difference is one is about 1 million times more than the other, which is carbon versus nuclear, and you can store that nuclear shit. You could
Muff?
muff materials unaccounted for. No. But you could grab all the nuclear waste in the planet and put it in like a 1 kilometer like cube, and that would store it for like 5,000 years or some shit.
But we'd have to pick a part of the globe to...
Yeah. Iowa. Dead center. Who gives a shit? No one.
I mean, how about a man-made landmass out in like...
You mean the plastic island?
Just put it on
Great Plastic Island?
the Fatberg. Put it on the Fatberg.
No, you don't do that. You put it somewhere really dry. You don't want it to touch... Well, you can't dump hundreds of thousands of pounds of nuclear waste into the ocean.
Into the ocean, no. Not into the ocean, but like above the ocean. You know?
Like in the sky? We talked about this.
Antarctica?
Antarctica's good. The only problem is getting shit to Antarctica. It's far.
Yeah. And you pretty much got
And you got to transport it there via the
plane.
ocean.
Or fly it in.
Yeah, via the ocean one way or the other. Right?
And if one of those planes happens to
Also, you don't fly with nuclear waste.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That seems like a really terrible idea.
That's a sky crime right there.
Yeah, that is a sky crime.
Yeah, you don't do it. What if someone accidentally goes, hey, is that a enemy? And then shoots it, and then blows up the plane with the nuclear waste in it.
Yeah.
And then spreads all the fun juice.
I have an idea.
All over the people.
I think that all nuclear we should build hundreds of nuclear reactors in North America, and that the nuclear reactors must be staffed by engineers trained within that reactor's vicinity. People who grew up in the nearest town. Therefore, if it melts down, it's their fault, and they did it to themselves anyway.
How about
like fucking Nuketown, Pennsylvania or whatever got wiped off the map. Oh, those Nuketowners, they're idiots. Couldn't handle their reactor. Whoops.
I mean, we could always just do what we're doing now and wait for the new invention that doesn't exist yet.
Well,
that solves the problem.
The problem is that did get solved, as me and you live in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And that problem was solved by hydroelectric power.
Yes, but...
Which is clean.
Yes.
Free.
Yes.
Infinite, depending on the weather.
God bless the Hudson Bay.
And totally unavailable to the mass majority of the planet.
Yeah.
You need to have
a giant
mountains and rivers.
And a giant closed body of water.
Yeah.
However, what I actually mean is for someone to invent the thing that is like, this is a sponge for radiation.
Yeah.
And that like nullifies it.
I have a good news for you. That item has already been discovered. It's life.
Yeah.
Life is there is a chemical called thorium which burns and reacts similar. It's a form of nuclear power, much similar to uranium and plutonium, but it's not self-sustaining. So if your reactor explodes, it just turns off.
Okay. That's cool.
And there's more thorium in the ground.
But what I'm really trying to get at, though, is, inventing the thing that you can throw a bunch of at places like Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And then eventually the green air turns pure again.
So
even though it's not actually green, but it's green in my head.
Radiation doesn't work like that.
No, but
it literally doesn't work like that.
But video games, though.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that.
That room is full of radioactive gas. It's yellow.
Yeah.
Your life bar's going down.
It is.
Get out of there.
No, okay. And now sit in a room for 2 weeks and get blasted with water. The radiation's so fucking weird to me because it acts like a particle, like dust.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a force. It's
not interacting with oxygen in a way that we can say that's an oxygen particle plus radiation.
It is complicated. It's beyond my pay grade.
Yeah, definitely.
Beyond my fucking half-assed university physics pay grade.
Build a fucking build an LHC, right?
Yeah.
Open up a pocket black hole.
Got it.
Suck in all the area that is irradiated, and then just close the black hole.
I'm gonna point out that a pocket black hole would be the most radioactive thing ever.
But then it all gets sucked in.
No.
Right?
Also, if they opened up a pocket black hole for a picosecond, like we would all blink out of existence.
Oh, that's why I'm saying
the sheer.
but the microscopic black hole, the really, really tiny one.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No.
The really, really tiny one. The one where the event horizon is like...
They might actually be that small. Space is crazy, man.
Space is wild.
And I know we're talking about the
wild,
Earth, but
bro.
Earth is in space. So you know how it is. Oh, what's up, Wolves? What's up with you, man?
Not much. What's going on? We did things. Weeks occurred.
Yeah.
In mine, I suppose. I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah, tell me a thing.
I went to go see Shazam.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
That's a piece of shit.
What?
That movie sucked, bro.
All right.
Yeah, your taste is garbage.
Okay.
That shit was ass. It was ass, dog.
All right, that's fine.
Here's what I will say. I mean, the jokes you get in the trailer of like superheroes on YouTube trying to figure out their powers is funny, and there's a twist that's interesting.
Willie, I'm sorry. I know that my taste in movies can't be as good as yours. We all know that Spider-Man trilogy is just garbage.
Do it.
It's you know what? I don't even feel strongly about this because I totally agree with you about the Spider-Man shit for real. Like those movies like held up really badly, and Tobey Maguire's a dork.
Do you remember the part where Spider-Man lost his powers because of
his dick.
Because of feelings?
Yeah, because his he had fucking erectile dysfunction of the web.
I legitimately liked a lot of Dr. Octopus until...
Alfred Molina is the best part of all three of those
fantastic.
movies. No!
He's great. Sandman is fantastic.
What's his name? Goblin Man.
Defoe. Defoe,
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
He's the only one who knows he's in that movie.
Yeah. No, for me, it's Doc Ock and Sandman are fantastic, and then the stakes get raised to like Earth destroying for no fucking reason and whatever. That's fine. Anyway, Shazam was not very good, but they do have fun with it. I'll give them that. But when it starts, like the quality of the opening scene in that movie was so questionable and poor.
Talking about the kid in the car.
Yeah. And then when we get to see the wizard. I was expecting the camera to zoom out to be the show that the characters in the movie are watching.
Yeah.
Like it felt like, oh, this is the movie inside the movie.
Yeah.
And then it didn't do that, and I went, oh no. Oh dear.
See, the fun thing about this is that level of schlock and look is exactly what I think of when I think of DC Comics. That is what is in my mind.
Still a better movie than the Bat Soups. Still better than that.
That's not. What conversation are we having where we even need to say that?
Well, because the one where I need to establish to everybody who's hearing me say this that it's not upsetting when you walk out of it. It's just. All right.
I actually really like the tone of that goofy, kind of schlocky shit.
It's funny how like it and Captain Marvel are kind of just like you just walk out of it and you just kind of go, well, that happened.
And they have the complete opposite problems.
And what is
100% opposite.
What is too much fun? One's not fun enough, but too much fun is not really the right way to describe it.
I gotta say though, I refuse to believe you didn't like the movie's big emotional twist at the 2/3. Like the recontextualization of an earlier scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so fucked. It's great.
It's super goofy and dumb. Like and it does something that like maybe if you followed the comics, there's setups and earlier references to this type of thing happening, but it does something I completely didn't expect them to do that kind of allows the story to stay in its own world in a way. It's interesting. But ultimately, everything in between those two things I'm describing is kind of just, all right, man, we get it. We're doing weird school shit, and we're doing Yeah. Anyway, woof. Oof and woof. I'm quite surprised as you brought up that Spider-Man thing, though. I didn't know how many people were super on board. Because I really thought that Spider-Man 3 just kind of ruined everyone's feelings forever.
Wooly, we have a mutual acquaintance that I don't know if you follow her on Twitter. But every single thing I have ever seen her post on Twitter is either one, how ripped she is getting at the gym, or two, let's talk about how Spider-Man 3 is the most underrated movie of all time.
Oh yeah, shout outs to Zeke. All right.
People are crazy about those fucking movies.
But she loves Toby,
yeah,
like with an undying passion, worshiping the cult of Toby.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
She's up on that Seabiscuit.
Yeah,
that's a whole other degree, right?
You can do it, Seabiscuit.
I mean, I'm just like on the level like. There's the whatchamacallit, the fucking Dark Peter is the best thing in the world.
Oh, what?
I love Dark Peter.
Okay,
right?
Wow, right.
That shit, but that's the perfect, so bad it comes right back around. Because he's awful, and I get so much of a kick out of how awful he is, and that the camera is like focused on the awfulness.
I can see where you're going, and I usually agree with you, and we'll have some stuff to talk about later about so awful it's good and why sometimes better can be disappointing,
I guess.
But
I like Evil Peter in 3 was like, I did not expect them to play it that way. When I went in, I expected him to be brooding and edgy, Toby, and I expected him to play like more like the fucking Radioactive Spider-Blood cartoon.
Sure.
Where he's just yelling and he's angry and he's
I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, Shocker.
Right? I kind of expected that. And when I got this fucker dancing and girls running away from him.
I think the moment is when he does a slide and with his arms outstretched and he looks back at two women and they give him that fucking like, ugh, fuck boy, like look, and he goes, yeah. It's like, holy shit.
The JPEG of all the girls at the party holding the cup looking back at you. I didn't expect that, right? So that moment, I crown it. You know, I put that one up on the platter. But yeah, man, I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised with the distance. And to be fair, it's been a minute since I've gone back to him.
Also, when you say like the Spider-Man trilogy is like, I think Homecoming's like fairly weak compared to the other two.
I really like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
I like
Tom Holland too.
I really like Peter Parker being a high school kid that actually looks like a kid in high school.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And then he spoils the movie.
I like when he doesn't look like a 30-year-old going, hello, fellow children.
Hello, I'm still awkward.
How do you do?
I made it to 30 while being awkward and scrawny looking.
He's a super weird, scrawny kid. And I'm like, yeah. And he's also a child.
Yeah.
And like the fucking the struggle of the movie in particular towards like the end when, you know, he's like almost dying.
Yeah.
Right. And I know from what I've seen on the feedback, a lot of people are kind of like, they don't like it because Iron Man enables a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like the whole point was him was breaking out of that and trying to do it his own way.
It's tough because we live in a universe in which Iron Man is the most popular guy.
Yeah.
And which is not the case in like comics.
Yeah.
Spider-Man wipes Iron Man's face in his butt for I don't know what I'm going with.
But anyway, but like that particular like moment of like, oh my god, are we about to watch a teenager perish?
Yeah. Cool.
And he's crying like a baby and I'm like, oh my god, right. Yeah, that's a kid.
That's your shit.
That's Peter.
That's Bully's jam.
I like that. That was very, very human and awesome. I enjoyed that a lot. I thought
Kill
Vulture.
the teens.
I thought Vulture was done pretty cool.
Come on, Vulture's the best.
You know,
Michael Keaton's the shit in anything he says.
I think
Michael Keaton almost made that RoboCop movie watchable.
So this is my first encounter with Homecoming hate because I didn't encounter anyone.
I don't think anybody hates it. I think it's just like it's good.
Not based on the feedback I'm getting.
Well, no, but of course. When you go, Tobey Maguire sucks and your childhood memories are wrong, idiots. That train scene is just the shittiest Jesus allegory ever.
I didn't
Shove
say
it
that.
up your ass. You know, I'm saying it.
I didn't say that.
Right? People are gonna get fucking all upset and shit.
Fucking what's his name? Isn't that Joey Diaz is in that scene. He's the fucking New Yorker.
So here's
guy.
the thing, Willie. You didn't say it, but when you said that movie's overrated, they said it to themselves for you.
Oh yeah, everyone heard me saying that there's nothing good in those movies and they're worthless and everything is garbage.
And if you like them, you are stupid.
That's exactly what. Yes, that's 100% what I said. Nothing redeemable. Throw them in the trash. Yeah. You know, Sam Raimi had some good ideas, and then he had some ideas that didn't get to work out because the studios got involved and pushed.
Because Sony had some ideas about the Sinister Six without Spider-Man.
Sure did. And then we got to see those ideas without Raimi, pure Sony.
And you were like,
with Andrew Garfield and Jamie Foxx. That happened.
What a waste of Jamie Foxx. Like, he came off Django and then went right into Spider-Man, and it was like, holy shit. You threw this actor in the trash with this role.
Yeah. So we all learn, and I learned. But I would definitely be willing to rewatch and see if my feelings hold true, because I'm going off of, obviously, whatever the fuck those came out.
Yeah.
Was it like 19 years ago?
I mean, well, I'll be quite honest. Like, I fucking hate Kirsten Dunst, so like those movies are tainted for me.
Oh man, I wasn't even thinking about her. Yeah, she was not a good Mary Jane.
Fucking stand Kirsten Dunst.
She was not a good Mary Jane.
Every time.
Nope.
I'm
That's
like,
true.
every time I see Kirsten Dunst in a movie, I'm like, Kirsten Dunst, do it.
You're
go home.
Super correct, and she's a major part of all of them.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Even in 2, where she shouldn't be really at all.
Yeah. So let me catch the defense on that one.
Yeah.
What's his name? Fucking Harry. Pineapple Express. What's his name? Osborne.
I'm helping in my mind. I'm trying.
You're
not
reaching.
seeing me do it, but I'm trying.
Well, I forgot his name.
The man.
Damn it.
Why is James Franco? Why is James Franco at my university?
Yeah, James Franco, eating that pie. Fantastic.
Highlight of that movie.
Fantastic.
He carries that.
Yeah. There's definitely like these standout moments of like, oh, that was done really well.
Yeah.
Oh, that was done really well. Enough to the point where it's like, yeah, Raimi is talented.
Yeah.
But whatever the fuck cooks were in the kitchen with him, stewing that shit up, forced a lot of dumbness where, despite the fact that 2 was stronger than 1, it ends so stupidly.
Yeah.
That it fucking hurts it.
Yeah.
And then you got to deal with, man, I completely forgot about Kirsten Dunst. Anyway,
the
whatever.
Second most important character in the films.
It's fine. So anyway, now that everyone's properly chuffed,
now that everyone's primed for anger,
we can talk about the anger I got to feel, and I'm gonna just glaze right over this because I'm still trying to figure out where to put these in progress compartmentalized feelings. But Game of Thrones is shit now.
Is it because of the Starbucks cup?
It's not.
Is it because Daenerys likes Starbucks?
It's not because of the Starbucks cup.
And she doesn't like Tim Hortons.
But it is emblematic. It is emblematic of the entire thing. The fact that they had a shot where the fucking Queen of Dragons, the Mother of Dragons, the Breaker of Chains herself, was sitting at a table and a cup of Starbucks was right in front of her and nobody caught it, shows you where D&D is at.
So I watched that clip, just the 2-second clip, because, spoiler.
That's
whatever.
where D&D is at.
And I'm just like, whoo, like, it's so, like,
oh my God, stop bitching.
If I was watching that, I would have gone, whoa, wait, what? Stop.
I didn't notice it until
okay.
Chatter actually told me about it later.
Fucking screen.
And then I didn't notice. I went back to go like.
No, that's not to criticize you because it is a 2-second cut.
No, because the focus of the shot is on 2 other characters.
Yeah, it's on what's his face and whatever. But
yeah,
but still, like, Jesus.
It's quite interesting. D&D refers to DB Weiss and Dave, what's his name? The fucking the guys behind the show, the showrunners,
yeah,
right?
Okay.
So, Game of Thrones after we had the great disappointment, as Adventists would say, and now we've had you have that phase of like, okay, but wait, there might be and then no, the follow up exceptionally stupid writing.
I want to point
and
out.
it just falls apart. It all falls down, and it's the exact opposite of Endgame.
I want to point out that I watched a good TV show back in the day. I happened to not catch it when it was airing, whatever. But then I heard people ranting and raving about how great it was, except for this one bit. And I watched Battlestar Galactica, and that show was amazing. And then within 3 episodes of the end, I almost regret watching it.
Wow.
It ends. If anybody, you can check the chat right now for people. If anybody's watched Battlestar Galactica, the new one, that ends the worst of anything I have ever seen.
Worst botch.
Yes.
You're giving it the crown.
I'm giving it the worst botch.
Wow.
It is astonishing. And it's very clearly because they didn't plan.
Wow.
Right? So since then, I then doubled down on my, this seems really hot, but I didn't watch it super hard in the beginning. I'm going to wait till it's over. And people have been hassling me about Game of Thrones for years and years and years and years. And I come in today.
Finish line.
The middle of the last season.
Finish line.
And out your mouth go, Game of Thrones sucks now. Game of Thrones is shit. And I go, fuck all of you. Fuck all of you who have hassled me for years. Because now I'm going to wait a couple more weeks and I get to have the talk with people of it ended really badly, didn't it? But is it still worth it when it's not week to week? When it's not a conversation piece? When it's not, what's going to happen next? When it's just roll on through.
I mean, you would have had
a story that just ends like shit.
You would have had a good time every Sunday if you were keeping up during the journey.
The disappointment is so immeasurable in this type of situation.
It's the anti-Endgame. It's the complete opposite.
Nothing is worse than a disappointment years in the making.
This is the start work.
Oh my god.
It is the complete opposite of Endgame.
The start work?
This is the start work.
Game of Thrones is the start work.
This is the start work.
All right.
It couldn't go any worse, my dude. Like, laughably, and the best fucking part is, for years, right, there's always been an aspect where you could go in and start, you could start going into the theories and, like, crafting your explanations for why.
How come, is that gonna go there?
And the books would give you a little piece of lore.
You take this thing, it's like, this didn't happen, but I know that this exists, so maybe they were informed by
when you weren't sure why or what went down, there was always the plausible deniability that it's not what you thought it was because it's not what it seems.
Yeah, because the story's only half done, and there's plenty of room for explanation or exploration or whatever.
So this season, and I don't know when it started actually, but I noticed with this season, they started immediately, the moment the credits roll. After the credits, it immediately goes to inside the making of Game of Thrones. And you go right to the moment. So what it feels like what they wanted to do is kind of go like, when we get our red wedding type moments, then you go right towards like, oh my god, what were you thinking? How'd this go down? Whatever.
Yeah.
/ if you have any viewers that are not really, what do you want to call it? Critical viewers?
Sure.
People that are not really thinking about what's happening. They're just responding to prompts and action.
Passive audience.
They can then get someone who tells them why things happened, and they might pick up on things that
go,
their brains were shut
detail
off for otherwise, right? AKA the people who loved the 3rd episode.
So, for example, I'm gonna dance, don't worry everybody, but in Endgame, near the very end, there are characters that say things that I did not realize were callbacks to 5 movies earlier, because I was not active enough at the time. Right?
So what ends up happening, right? Wooly, you're such an asshole.
You're going for it today.
I have thoughts.
Today's your day in my little baby shoes, Wooly.
I was woken up by construction hammering.
Yeah.
A little bit cranky.
Wooly, it feels good to tell them they're stupid. Just keep going.
So, what we get
feels so
immediately post credits now
is
the hard cut interview
Oh, no.
the fucking directors
Oh, no.
sitting there telling you exactly why they made the stupid decisions they made.
That is...
And completely explaining the worst justification you could ever imagine for them, such as, we were hoping that the viewer would forget what they saw 10 minutes prior.
Shut up.
Literally.
That's not believable.
We made this decision because we thought it would shock you and be surprising. Doesn't matter what else was taken into account. We just wanted to make something. They give you the reasons. They literally tell you the shallow, dumb reasons.
That's no good.
So you don't even get to have plausible deniability. You don't get to do the thing you did a couple seasons ago where you're like, no, wait, maybe next week there might be something else. Because they tell you straight up.
I think that we live in a world that I feel fairly confident in saying that being able to talk to the people behind works of art, creative endeavors, TV shows, paintings, music, whatever, is a massive mistake. Being able to talk to George R.R. Martin or J.K. Rowling or the showrunner of your favorite show or whom the fuck ever...
Accessibility was a mistake?
Like a massive fucking mistake.
It's interesting
because it allows them to tell you why the thing that you thought was cool sucks straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes, it also enabled the growth of this entire industry.
Well, that's different. We don't make art. We make garbage.
Fair enough, but accessibility is a big part of why any of all this exists. However, there is a spoiling aspect to it that, a ruining aspect that, yes, when you get to hear straight seconds after your brain is trying to process why they made their decisions, they just straight up tell you the reasons why, and they're the worst reasons ever, and they're as bad as you think they are. And then that hurts you extra hard because you go, wait, someone who's making this dumb of a decision, how did you accidentally do something so cool so many seasons ago? And then you start to go, oh no, was it all Grimm?
So
was it the moment that they stopped having the actual books as source material? That's when we started getting, like, you know what I mean? But you're like, no, because there's moments where you're like, that was weird, but I bet it's gonna pay off. And you start questioning the whole thing because you're like, someone making this dumb of a mistake doesn't make sense that you're that talented to go back and also do this cool thing. So now you're like, is it just that you're a master at adaptation as opposed to creating it originally? I don't know. But you have a point. I just have something I don't want to forget.
I'm formulating, and I am listening to you.
Trust me. Like, when I'm talking dumb explanations, I gave you two of those.
Yeah.
One of my big favorites at this point is, again, in the same vein, a character who has encountered a huge weakness to their ability.
Sure.
Right? Simply forgot
Oh.
that the enemy had found a counter.
Oh, I see.
Is what the directors themselves say.
Oh, they forgot.
And so
wasn't that important?
When they re-engage with the enemy
and make the obvious mistake
and then end up losing,
yeah,
it's because the character simply forgot that the enemy had come up with
a solution
to their problem.
That's great. This is super awesome.
And I would never in a million years assume that. I would just assume, I was like, oh, they were, you know what I mean? I went a billion other places with it when I watched it, and I never would have thought that. And then I heard the director say themselves, forgot about the kryptonite.
Superman forgot the kryptonite hurts him.
And then, and that's it. And then the story moves forward.
So this is wild because I'm going to use Battlestar Galactica as an example here because this is my experience with this thing. And it's also much older, so I feel safer.
Bully is so wrong, wow.
So I feel...
Go ahead, bro.
Welcome to my fucking...
I know!
Welcome to my world, man! It sucks out here!
Go watch the fucking post-interview, asshole.
What?
Go listen to them say it.
He's turning on!
Go listen!
It's Rise! Fucking Willie Rise!
Yeah.
All right, so Battlestar Galactica, I believe that the interviews with the cast, with the director, with the writers, the showrunners, etc., all happened after the series ended, right? Not middle, like now.
Okay.
Like, like most things. You talk to them at one DVD release or some shit, right? And so one of the biggest story elements of Battlestar Galactica is that the Cylons can look like people and feel like people and are indistinguishable from a human being.
I still want to go back and watch this. Someone recently talked to me about some dumb shit that happens.
I'm talking about that dumb shit right now.
Okay.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. I got all of you at home. I'm good at this now. So the question is, I think it's like episode 1 or 2. There are 12 people in this story that are actually robots, and they're actually double agents, right? And have fun. And the characters know this as well. So have fun trying to fucking guess who the fuck is an evil robot for 5 seasons, right?
Oh wow. Okay.
They get to the final season, and there's been some upheavals. There's been beloved characters and evil villains that turned out to be whatever, right? We're down 7. There's 5 to go, and the final season is all about figuring out who the final 5 are. And in fact, they constantly use the phrase "the final 5." Right?
Is this the core of what people like about the show?
No.
Okay,
There's
because
a lot.
I've still been told
The
to
core
watch
of what
it.
people like about the show is that it's a submarine drama in space.
Okay, you're not taking away from me the reason to watch it right now.
No.
Okay.
But the final 5, right? And then they reveal who the final 5 are in a big spectacle.
Nice. Nice.
French came out for a second there. That was weird. And you're like, huh? That doesn't make any sense. And then after the series wraps, they go, hey, what happened with the final 5? How come it was these characters that made no sense? And they go, well, we got to the last season and realized we hadn't decided who the final 5 were. In fact, we had never decided who any of them were up until the episodes in which they were revealed to be the character. So we realized there were only so many characters left. So we just picked 5 of them.
Yikes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So we just picked him.
Yeah, that's that Lost shit.
Yeah.
That's that Lost shit that I can't stand, where you basically build... Fuck you, mouse. You build a whole thing on creating cliffhangers with no actual...
and...
Yeah. You're creating puzzle pieces with no receptor for where the puzzle piece goes.
And the problem is that if I go back and watch that show, there are going to be large elements of that show that are fucking nonsense as a result of later decisions. You know how Revolver Ocelot and Metal Gear Solid always makes sense at the time, but if you go to the end of the story, get every motivation he actually has, and go back in time, realize that nothing he does ever made sense ever at any point that he ever did it at the time? It's like that.
So none of this has anything to do with the character that suddenly disappears from the show? Because I heard about that, and
very bad and somewhat intermingled with what I'm talking about.
Okay, because all I heard about that was someone went to go fucking join a cult, and that meant no longer being on the show.
Despite being, like, the most important character on the show. It's like if Goku left.
That's wacky. That's wacky.
It's so not.
That fucking Smallville cult, man.
And
it was the same one too.
And the way that they leave and then come back, they come back for like an episode or 2, and they're like around, but it's like
that's nuts.
And it's the most poorly explained thing in the whole show, to the point where magic gets introduced.
Oh my god, fucking
magic.
Fucking Chloe from Smallville ruined BSG.
And
oh dear.
It's this thing where, like, Battlestar Galactica is one of my favorite shows. I am honestly yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
I'm torn. Like, I honestly feel like, hey, watch it, and at season 4, at the end of season 4, make a decision which is easier to live with: the worst ending to a TV show ever, or not knowing how it turns out. And by that time, the thing we're talking about, the character leaving, that has already happened, so you get the taste of it. And I would say to you, imagine if that feeling was the whole thing.
So remember how we discussed not wanting to see the things we like stick around long enough to suck?
Yeah.
And we talked about Vagabond and a couple other things.
Talk about JoJo parts and all sorts of shit. Talk about Berserk, for fuck's sake.
The saving grace of the cutoff, right? The saving grace of like the fucking the mercy killing,
yeah,
right, is that something like Firefly can happen,
yeah,
where they come back way later,
yeah,
and just
bang
shoot
out
a
decent
fucking movie,
yeah,
and then wrap that shit up, right? That's
BSG
best you can
can't
hope
do
for.
it. BSG ends conclusively.
Just come back with a serenity and do it, you know? Yikes.
That's such a bummer because the strength of BSG is a bunch of old dudes arguing in a boardroom about how they're running out of food. Like that's the core of that show.
Game of Thrones, like, is fucking falling under the weight of its own popularity and inability to tell a story anymore. So, like,
is it suffering from the fact that it's the biggest TV show in the world?
It's suffering from the fact that, like, yes, and as a result of that, like, the things that people loved about the show were how it shat all over cliched expectations of a fantasy world and how things would play out, right?
Yeah,
so
Ned.
Early, and so this, yeah, here we go, all right?
Yeah.
The show in the last season has become the show where someone saves Ned at the last second. Right? The thing where you see Ned go down on the block and everybody is getting ready and they're like, well, there's no way they're gonna... Oh, fuck! That moment in Baelor from season 1.
For the audience at home that can't see me because you're listening to the audio podcast, I've let my neck and head go limp as I listlessly move my head miserably.
That moment where everyone went, holy fuck! I can't believe it. They just did that. This is the version of the show where someone swings in and saves him and the story goes on. Because it's so important.
How many times do we have to do Full Metal Alchemist?
And we gotta have, most importantly, is he's gotta get back to his girl because the romance angle is the most important thing.
You know what,
Are you in a couple? You're protected by plot armor.
You know what, dude? I'm just waiting for fucking Game of Thrones Brotherhood, alright?
Well, you're gonna fucking get it because they've already confirmed the prequel series is being made.
I said Brotherhood. I meant the retelling of the real story.
Okay, well...
with the same actors.
That's happening. Not to mention that these two chuckle fucks, who I used to fucking admire, D&D, are going on to get their own Star Wars trilogy.
What?
Yeah, the Game of Thrones guys are getting a Star Wars.
Oh, great.
Yeah. That was announced a while ago.
The series that has its own
problems to come over.
That are incredibly similar to what you're describing to me right now.
Here we go.
Wow.
Strap in.
That's great.
This news was back when they were still good, so you were like, oh, interesting. Let's see where this goes.
At this point, I just want the Russo brothers to direct literally every popular thing.
I mean, I wanted Whedon too, but then Ultron, unfortunately, you know.
Whedon's got some weaknesses with his directing style.
But he's very good at conversation.
Yeah, but he's weak at everything else.
I don't find so, because I really do like...
But also, that's writing, too. I mean...
Yeah, I really do like, you know, Firefly Serenity. I thought Dollhouse was fine. Yeah. I thought Dollhouse was okay. I'm one of the few that even bothered. Cabin in the Woods was fun.
Yeah.
You know, like, I ultimately, when I think, I'm like, yeah, man, Joss Whedon's good. You know, so... But it's just, no one's perfect. But,
yeah, definitely not.
But yeah, dude. It really... Whoa. Oh, man, it's just... And it's not just, like... It's the fact that all of these mistakes are happening, but the clock is ticking, and you never stop looking at the timer of, like, how much time is left in every episode, so you feel the desperation, and the mistakes are cascading into each other.
You know what is the opposite of this? And I know for people who've listened to the podcast for a long time, this is going to be the third time I repeat it near verbatim. But Wooly, you never watched that third season of Twin Peaks.
I never watched any Twin Peaks.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically that third one because it is wildly different.
Yep.
That has the opposite problem that you're describing. Because whereas in a big budget, fancy, popular thing, somebody comes and saves Ned, in fucking Twin Peaks season 3, Ned, like, kills himself and then floats off to become a butterfly.
Fantastic.
Right? Because Lynch has infinite control over it. And you get to the last batch of episodes where you're looking at the clock as you watch it, going, there isn't enough time to fix this. It's so weird.
Yep.
It's so weird and
Yep.
nothing's happening.
Yep.
And there are long scenes
I remember you bringing this up.
in which nothing is happening. And you're looking at the clock and you're like, there are 5 minutes left to end this series. Forever. And you're sitting in a car. Characters are sitting in a car, not talking for minutes. There's a happy medium to be struck here. There's a real happy medium to be struck here.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are bummers, but at least Lynch's thing, I can go, well, he got one over on me. He fucked with me the way, like, Lynch is like if Anno was having fun doing what he's doing.
Game of Thrones is a 73-hour movie.
Yeah.
And at the 70-hour mark, it shits the bed. 70 hours in! It shits the bed. And then at the 71 hour, it fucking loses the plot, and you've got 2 more to go.
Can they save it? And just look back at those 2 as the really bad ones.
Here's the hopes of, oh god, this sucks, but I'm sticking in, I want to know what's going on. It's not abandon ship, because I need to know.
You're not going to spend this amount of time
a decade. You need to know, but the when you watch the moment it cut to the inside, the making of, and you heard those explanations, the fire in your heart dies.
Yes.
And the your eyes go from like the flickering reflective ones to the dead flat colored ones.
Yeah, the one where the green spot in Ippo's eye goes out.
It goes away. That's what happens, and you kind of just stop caring.
Yeah.
And the thing where you'd be like, oh, coming next week on game, and you're like, oh, turn it off, we don't want to know.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Oh man.
So now you're picking apart those previews.
That's rough.
Because you don't give a shit anymore, and you're looking frame by frame because you're like, how dumb is it gonna get? How dumb is it gonna get?
You know what's great? Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah. It was good.
Remember when Breaking Bad had 1 episode to go and you're like, oh man, I hope they stick it, and then it's like the greatest episode of TV ever? That's pretty great. You know what else is great? Star Trek The Next Generation, where the last episode of TNG is the best episode of TNG.
I don't think Breaking Bad had its I don't think its ending was its strong point, but it stuck that fucking landing.
That's a really strong ending.
There's those moments where like I'm trying to think back, and I'm like, I like the weird transitional shit where like the arc changes, like him up in a cabin.
Yeah, I like that.
I fucking like that a
really
lot.
Like
that. That's the shit.
Apparently, Dexter tries to do something incredibly similar,
Yeah.
and it's a disaster.
I heard about that. I have a friend that's like hard on the Dexter train, and she just goes off on how
Apparently,
fucking
Dexter's another one that just ends like incredibly badly.
yeah. Caught a lot of.
And people were into that for years and years and years. Nothing's gonna top Lost.
But I know the thing with Lost, I haven't watched it.
Hell no, I haven't looked at
I
it.
know that it would piss me off.
Oh yeah,
And I've heard super cool things about it in
Yeah?
terms of like shit I would love.
I heard about shit. Guy's got a steering wheel and he's fucking piloting
Steering
an
an
island.
island.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Smoke monsters, bears, the other half of the plane. Anyway. No, but there's things I like when someone describes, for example, like let's at some point in the future, well after things have established, we go back and we revisit moments by putting the camera in a different place and seeing how that changes your perspective on things.
Sure.
Right? Following someone else's narrative through the same events.
Sure.
Love that. Rich writing, full of like character building juice.
It's a good idea.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But I would fucking lose my mind at early J.J. Abrams bullshit, not knowing where they wanted to go with it. I can't handle that. I would hate it the whole way through. So I don't think I'm ever gonna sit and do it. Anyway, this is where we're at now. You know, but yeah, I think you should like enjoy watch the first 70 hours of Game of Thrones.
I don't do that.
And then spite watch the last 4 or 3. We'll see.
That shit hurts.
You've seen all the Sopranos, right?
Nah, never bothered.
Never touched it?
Not really interested. Not my thing.
It's better than you think. It's not.
It's just not my thing.
It's not
my
just
aesthetic.
like
I don't care for that.
Like your image is probably just like Jersey trash mafia.
Am I wrong?
No, but there is more to it.
Sure, I'm certain.
Fair enough.
But I just nothing about it is appealing to me.
Okay. You like your mafia in the Joe Pesci kind of sense?
I'm much more like, I'll use a wildly different example, but I'm much more likely to just start watching Initial D despite my like non-interest in like drift car racing than I am Sopranos, because I'm just not interested in that fucking mafia internal life shit. Like, I don't care for any of those movies either. I like fucking Joe Pesci, which is why you were right to say that. Joe Pesci's the shit, but I don't really care for, like, Goodfellas or fucking Casino. I just care for Joe Pesci being insane in those movies.
Sopranos is up because I bring it up because it's up there with Breaking Bad as like
sure I'll believe that
TV's best. You
know what? I'll use an example that you can empathize with. Just like I don't care about the entire movie in Training Day, but I like seeing Denzel Washington do his crazy shit in that movie. But everything else that's happening in Training Day, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Oh, the Russians are gonna get me for the money. Who fucking cares? Have Denzel monologue some crazy shit and then betray you. Whatever.
By the way, if you want to find yourself a really enjoyable YouTube hole, look up people on their cell phone cameras trying to create audition tapes by having themselves read out Alonzo's final monologue in their living room. It is so strong. It is so strong. They're standing around in their fucking kitchens.
That's awful.
With the jacket on, going, Jake!
That's like the new.
What? Oh, I see how it is, Jake.
That's like the new era.
I see how it is.
Of like talking into the mirror, like you got a problem with me.
Oh yeah. So back in the day, it would be like, you talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you talking to me?
It would be It would be 100%. It would be taxi, right? Taxi driver. And they'd fucking just straight up. Now it's a bunch of shitty fucking dudes on their cell phone, propped up in the bathroom, trying to do the goddamn Training Day monologue. You know, it's find that hole, if you will, and just dive down it. There's some fucking amazing ones, man.
Now, to be fair, I'm gonna try and put a bow on this, but to be fair, endings are hard.
They are.
Endings are very difficult.
Last thing I was gonna say is you can hand out awards for weakest delivery of King Kong Ain't Got Nothing on Me. Softest spoken, weakest possible deliveries, but endings are hard. Yes, I agree.
They're difficult.
They take
in every medium
time.
Yeah.
They take planning.
Planning is the important one.
Competence, and a real.
Somebody's having a bad day outside.
Yeah. A real bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Of everything that has happened up to the point that you've reached, right? Here's the other bit. You need to mark a fucking X on the map of where you're going.
Yeah.
In advance. That's not the one that we get where, because okay, there's theming in the like early George R.R. Martin sense in the show, where like shit actually builds on itself, and then there's that like the fucking last season where they go back and they grab 2 random lines of dialogue and use them as justification for why we're just gonna fucking flip it all up.
Great.
And endings are challenging, but like you have to have a coherent plan. And here's the other thing you should probably do, and I really like this, not to fucking keep sucking the endgame dick.
Yeah.
Right? But it really is like, someone pointed out that it's like, people talk about like, oh man, where were you when like Star Wars came out and shit, like in their era kind of thing. Like,
I was in my dad's fucking balls.
Exactly, right? And it was a big deal with that. It was like a big cinematic event. The Endgame being the first of its kind like this is going to be a pretty huge deal.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? It's going to be, for our time, it's going to be a major thing and a reference point.
That's
going
weird
forward.
to think about, actually.
It is. But for a long while, we didn't even think about it, but the first Avengers was kind of that reference point. So this kind of just replaces that in a way. Second highest grossing movie of all time besides Titanic. And it's on its way to beating it out. Yeah. Right? So, not that money has anything to do with quality, but, what the fuck was my point? Yes, got it. So, apparently, parts of what helped in, like, the script coming together there was, despite the crazy, like, lockdown and security with like, people not knowing what the ending was going to be and whatnot, they straight up had fucking janitors and lighting dudes and sound boom guys on the set going, hey, can I make a quick suggestion? When, you know this part when the Ancient One is describing the thing? Why don't you, like, visually show it? Because it seems a little bit confusing to just hear her talking about it. Why don't we literally show the thing and have a visual of the split?
Movie making is a collaborative process. In fact, most art is a collaborative process.
The Russos opened up the entire set to suggestions, opened up the room to suggestions on multiple things and took ideas that people were, you know, and it's like, and obviously too many cooks spoils the broth, right? But these are not cooks. It's someone who's a normal audience member working on the thing, just going like, this doesn't...
This shit looks weak.
What's up here, right?
Yeah.
There's a big... Okay, here's what I'll talk around this, but remember how they get the soul stone?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so apparently that was going to go the opposite way.
All right.
And they had someone on the set that straight up like saw the way that was going to work out and went,
that way's stupid.
Don't rob this character of that moment.
Yeah.
Don't rob them.
Okay.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
And to think otherwise is being shitty.
Yeah.
Right? And they
also
kind of
makes the movie better by removing...
Yeah. No, but it's like despite the reasons you put on paper and go, there's why we should go with this method, and then they're gonna go with that. It's like someone on the set just kind of went, no, don't do that, you know? And they went, oh fuck, you're right, and they turned and they switched it up, and it was way better. It works out way better that way, you know? And a couple things they kind of just were. They had other eyes. They had fresh eyeballs to kind of help out.
It's funny that you mentioned the collaborative process there, because like there's a long-standing, not super confirmed idea that like
move to the next topic. I'm not done yet.
No, we're not done.
Not done yet. Jerk off.
This is evergreen shit of the Mass Effect trilogy, in which they were written collaboratively. Like Drew Karpyshyn wrote the stories and the plots, but they'd have roundtables between all the leads, right, and be like, hey, how do you feel about this?
Yes.
Blah blah blah. And apparently, Casey Hudson and the new guy for 3 just kind of disappeared for a couple days and then showed up and were like, this is the ending of our series. And it was not basically up to debate. And they junked what is known as the Dark Energy storyline for a new one about AI. And we all know how that went. Didn't go great. Don't.
So closed room.
Yeah. Don't. Hey, here's some tips for your ending from somebody who's never made anything creative in his life.
Go for it.
Don't change horses midstream.
You don't. God, what fucking movie? Wag the Dog, was it? Have you seen Wag the Dog?
I have not seen Wag the Dog. No.
Wag the Dog's a really good movie. It's about politics. And it just reminds me because they have these commercials where they're trying to find a way to keep a president in power.
Yeah.
For a re-election, and they just get this old lady and all these old people to just record these political commercials going, "You don't change horses midstream.
Yeah, okay.
No matter how bad it gets."
Yeah.
It just reminds me of that.
Well, if the theming and your plot is building towards a type of resolution, everybody likes a surprise. But kneecapping the work you did earlier doesn't do you any favors. Mm-hmm. Also, alongside that, it helps if you have a general plan, maybe not of any specific ending, like, an endgame, like they pretty much knew how that was going to end clearly a while back. But, let's take something like Full Metal Alchemist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I very much strongly believe, based off of my own nothing, that the author went, I want this character to be here in this point of their life. I want this problem to be fixed. I want this character to be gone, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then wrote towards that goal in the final arc.
Yeah.
I disagree with the idea of writing or creating something and let's just see where it goes. That's a good way to get something that fizzles the fuck out. And we play games, man. Games fizzle the fuck out. It is an absurd rarity for a game to have a good ending. They often don't. Especially because most people don't even reach the end of games, so they put all the really cool shit at the beginning.
Props to God of War.
Props to God of War.
Yeah.
Props to a lot of games that have strong endings.
Yeah.
Props to Witcher 3, actually. Witcher 3 has an astonishingly strong ending. And that game's infinity long, and half of people don't even get anywhere near it.
Even sitcoms that last multiple seasons forever have this weird moment where they have to figure out how do we wrap this shit up.
Yeah. And
it's kind of always awkward. Mm-hmm. It's never not awkward.
How do we wrap this shit up? Oops.
Yeah. I feel whether you're talking fucking Seinfeld, Friends, or Parks and Rec, it always gets a little bit tonally awkward, So I was gonna say that that last thing came to mind, and it's that something I never realized. Right? There's a video that came out by this dude on YouTube. His name is Mauler, and he does some fucking review shit.
Yes, that dude is crazy.
I have never seen any of them up until I saw him talking about season 8, episode 3 of Game of Thrones.
That dude is nuts.
37 minutes ripping apart every terrible decision, right?
That dude does tens of hour-long breakdowns.
I had no idea. I had only the first.
He is a crazy person.
I saw this video of this shattering of it, and what ended up happening was all the things that I took grievances with, the airing of grievances, was addressed, right, in him breaking it all down. And it's a very, Yahtzee style, angry rant kind of thing. But what also started to collapse was...
Before we get there.
Yeah.
Do you know... Okay, H Bomber Guy did that 2-hour-long review of Dark Souls 2?
No.
Okay, H Bomber Guy, you're familiar with him?
Because of the charity stream.
But right, he's a big YouTuber. He did a 2-hour-long rebuttal to Matthew Matosis's 1-hour-long Dark Souls 2 critique. Right? And in H Bomber Guy's Dark Souls 2 critique, he fucks a bunch of shit up and gets a ton of shit wrong.
Okay.
Mauler put out a 10-hour rebuttal of H Bomber Guy's 2-hour-long rebuttal of Matthew Matosis's 1-hour critique.
Okay.
This is the guy you were talking about.
Okay.
This dude will belabor a point to death.
Okay. The deepest dive.
Yes.
Inception.
Every sentence was picked apart.
Blah,
yeah,
to the deepest level.
The deepest, darkest fucking
to the old man
cross-reference chart shit.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Hard Nolan. Triple down.
I skimmed it for 30 minutes and I couldn't.
Well, that explains like why this review went the way it did, because boy is it ruthless and
granular. Would you say?
And so what ends up happening is there's a process, and it's really interesting, but when you're watching something you're enjoying, there's all these things that happen regularly that bother you / are silly / don't make sense in the moment, but you forgive it in the moment.
Don't worry about it.
Because overall, it's for it's whatever, right? It's to get to the bigger point of that scene, of that arc, of that chapter, of that fight, of that whatever.
Who shot Nice Guy Eddie? I don't know. That shit was dramatic. I couldn't tell.
Not even like that. More like, why would that army act that way? That doesn't make sense. Right? Why would you do this instead of that? Right? In some cases, when it's like Prometheus and it's like, why would you run in that direction? It's a humongous problem because it's literally the life and death of major characters, right? But smaller versions of this. I
forgot about that. That's the dumbest shit
It's the dumbest shit ever.
That's the worst ever.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Man,
it's the dumbest shit ever.
I remember sitting in the
It
trailer
never got
going,
dumber.
Oh, man. Oh, fuck.
Maximum dumb.
Holy
Like, you can't
shit.
top it. It's the dumbest shit ever. Never
That woman's
forget.
a doctor in fiction.
Straight lines.
Tangents.
Straight lines.
Perpendicular lines.
So
Oh my god.
what happens is you forgive a lot of it.
Yeah.
And when characters like do things in movies where a monster's in the dark,
Yeah.
but they're trying to find their buddy,
Yeah.
and they go, hey, are you here? Right? Or shining the flashlight around.
There's a fucking ancient, I think it's Chappelle or Chris Rock, I think, bit where he describes white people going down into their basement.
Yeah.
Like hearing a strange noise and going, Doug, is that you? Like anyone expects Doug to go, yeah, it's me. I'm in your basement. I'm playing a prank on you.
Exactly, right? Or shining the flashlight around to let everyone know everywhere where you are.
Yeah.
Right? The thing that's way like you would be the times where you'd be better off turning on the fucking lights almost.
Yeah.
If you could, I don't know, whatever. You forgive these things to get to the next point. And you just kind of accept that it's like, this is movie language, right?
Yeah.
Shout outs
Characters have to be dumb enough to exist in this story.
Problems have to occur, right? Let's split up. Why? Because if we stayed together as a unit, nothing bad could go wrong.
We could physically overpower the threat.
And there would be nowhere for the story to go. Therefore, let's split up to create weaknesses and create problems, right? But yeah, okay.
It's
all
hard.
right.
One of the things that I really like about it is that, like, let's all stick together so we can beat this clown with sticks.
Sure.
That's like a major point in the movie.
Yeah.
If we're all in the same room
Yeah.
and we all have like pipes and shit,
Yeah.
just beat on this fucking thing.
Meanwhile, fucking nonsense movies that I'm watching that you've seen over time just have these things go down, and you're just like, okay, you're communicating in movie language, right? And your brain almost just accepts it in a way, even though it bothers you.
Yeah.
Shout outs because Steph showed me a video recently that was also about how characters have moments where, like, conversationally, no one does the thing. You know the anime thing where you walk, stop, your back turned to somebody, and you say, "Hey, Pat, I'll always be there," and then you keep walking away.
Yeah, no one does that.
Right? Or the thing where
We were just talking about this on your fucking stream about Leon talking to himself, and it's like, I do that, but like not in a fucking situation where there's monsters around.
Or the opposite, where you're walking away and I go, "Hey, Pat."
I go, what?
Don't forget,
I
Monday.
Will. Okay, yeah.
And then, or whatever. Or moments where, like, I say something and then I look off into the distance and I go, witty quip. Like, no one talks that way.
You know what,
right?
actually, you remind me of?
But it's movie language.
It's a total non sequitur. One of the very first things in Pillars 2, you get a dialogue option where you wash up on a beach and a guy goes, "Dude, what's going on?" And you can tell him all, like, what's actually going on. And one of them is stare wistfully out at the ocean for a moment before turning to him and go, "The gods have charged me with another dude." And it's like,
that's a really
fuck
good
off.
one. Woolie's taking things too seriously again. No, I'm trying to explain a point in an entertaining fashion. Relax. What I'm trying to say.
If your butts weren't so hurt, you'd be more entertained.
What I'm trying to say is that we get used to these things, right? And a lot of the times, if you end up enjoying the content at the end, you completely forget about those moments because you put them in gray life.
Yeah.
They're gray life damage. That
it wasn't a real hit.
It healed back up because we got to the credits and it was fantastic.
And you go, hey, how come they didn't climb out of the thing? You go, don't worry about it. Whatever. The characters were they were scared.
Right.
Whatever. No big
and
deal.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But when it ends in catastrophe,
yeah,
all of that contextual, like, this is dumb, but I'm putting it away to enjoy where it goes, shit, all that damage comes rushing back at once.
I think the bigger problem with me, the way I would phrase it in a story, is like, if you show me that the character is smart enough to realize something that I'm not smart enough to realize, but then show that they're dumb enough to make a mistake that I would never make, I have a problem.
Exactly. And a very good excuse in many cases will be, hey man, just turn your brain off. You know?
I don't want to watch shit that turns my brain off.
Sometimes I have used that phrase. Sometimes I understand. No, turn your brain off. Don't worry about it. Just sit back and enjoy the ride, right? I literally
it depends what we're talking about.
Depends on what you're talking about.
We're seeing fucking Fast and Furious Hobbs and whatever the fuck.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. Turn your fucking brain off.
Turn your fucking brain off.
All the way.
Leave it at home.
Yeah.
Don't even bring it.
Yeah, don't put it in your bag. Don't do it.
Don't be a Barney brain bringer.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, get on your phone. In that...
Turn your ringer way the fuck up.
Yeah, turn it up.
Susie Seat Kicker, hell yeah, get in.
Fuck yeah. Dump this popcorn all over the kids in the front row. Fuck them.
It really is, that does happen. But all that gray damage that you suspend comes back. And the point I'm bringing up is that Mahler addressed every single one of those tiny things that I saw and went, no one does that. But anyway, and kept like that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And then he brings all of those back, and you realize the whole episode is a critical string combo of undropped botch the whole time.
And then they cash it in, apparently.
They cash the damage in. Yeah. At the last second. They really do. You know, they lock out a couple of times. Like, it's like, something smart's about to happen. Press the wrong button. Lock out! Shadow counter! Like, they fucking cash all the damage in. And the things that I wasn't bothered by, because I was like, oh yeah, whatever, TV. Like, it comes back and I go, oh, that really was that dumb, huh? Yeah, I didn't, wow, you know? And it's a funny thing. It's funny, because it happens in everything, even the things you enjoy.
I was talking about it earlier, but like, look at Revolver Ocelot. Look at where he ends up at the ends of some of those stories. And you go...
But the journey was fine.
And he goes, listen, he knew the thing that he just revealed to you all the way back then. So if he knew that, why the fuck did he do any of the shit in between the part where he revealed... Whatever. And you don't care because you had fun.
Yeah.
And it was fun all the way, and it ended well.
Why'd you get in my way?
And all that stupid shit happened... Whatever. Fuck you. It was fun.
It's like, why did you get in my way, though? Yeah. Why didn't you just let me...
Why didn't you just let me complete almost any game ever?
You know, because we gotta have a boss fight, and I gotta also feel good about the fact that I think I'm better than you. I don't know. Wow.
Oh, they told you about that, huh? Endings are hard.
So yeah, that was a fun watch that properly I feel like squeezes all the blood out of that stone, and it really was also fun to see that the last 7 days has been a lot of people that, you know, the casual viewing audience, not casual, what was the term? Passive audience?
The passive audience.
The passive audience.
No, shut up, it's great.
What is it? Because like, what's a hardcore audience, right? But no, yeah.
No, media consumers.
Mm-hmm. I hate going down this road because it seems so up your own ass.
Whatever.
It makes you seem like you're like
up your own ass.
Yeah, like that guy in Undergrads. It's like, I watched the movie good, continuity error, right?
No, there's two.
It makes you feel like you're up your own ass and you're highbrowing
there's two
the
broad
situation
ways
in your tower.
To enjoy a work, either actively or passively, and they are not better or worse. One is just more involved and the other isn't.
Right.
If you watch Game of Thrones and you had a great time, fucking good for you. I wish I could do that sometimes. Yeah.
So you get all
these... it doesn't make you dumb. So it just makes your priorities different.
Watch a couple videos of some people watching it in a bar. Yeah. And then when exciting moments happen, they go, yeah, and cheer because it's cool. Yay. Good thing. Fun. Yeah. And
I think the reason it makes you sound up your own ass is because you, in general, are up your own ass. It's quite possible.
Fair. It's quite comfy up there.
It's, you know what? I like to be on a high horse. You like to be up on your own ass. Up on your own ass. That's what I said. I'll stick to it.
I always consider the ground an option, my friend. I always consider the ground an option. It's why I'd have you sit there and tell me nonsensical time travel theories and go, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe. But in the back there, you're like, that's fucking stupid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I expect the call out to happen the moment I hit that stop button.
Oh yeah.
Like it might right
like
now.
It totally did.
The only difference is a couple years ago I'd be nervous about it, and now I don't care.
Yeah, just soaking the garbage.
So it's fine.
The juice is fucking seeping into you.
Garbage chat juice?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yum. That fucking shot of Luke just going, give me that fucking milk.
Yeah.
That's me.
You know what it reminds me of? You know, you see fucking, I almost said Luke Skywalker. Fucking Mark Hamill just fucking trolling the fuck out of people on social media. Just being an asshole about Star Wars. Be like, haha, Star Wars is fucking stupid.
I have not.
You described, hey, Disney came up to me and told me to fucking stop doing that. And I told them to go fuck themselves. Because what are they going to do? Fire me? I'm Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Exactly. That's great. There's the fact that 6 days ago, a lot of folks were basically going, no, I liked it. It was good. It's fine. It was action-packed and fun. And you guys are haters and whatnot, right? And in some cases, there was bigger defenses and more sensical arguments that were mounted to the point where people created a Civil War GIF of all the heroes on one side with text attached to them for why it was bad and others attached to say why it was good fighting with each other. And in 1 week, we got the follow-up.
Yeah.
And it really just brought everybody onto the side of, oh no, it's actually over.
So the problem with that, right, is because like no one's ever going to convince you of the feeling that it's turning to shit, that it's actually not turning to shit, just turn your brain off. That's never going to happen, right? No one's ever been convinced to return their brain off or not think critically about it. The problem is that most of the people who enjoyed it just fine and call you a hater, you are actually trying to take their fun away from them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You are trying to ruin it for them.
Oh, yeah. I totally understand that because I've had these moments of, like, things I enjoyed later on coming back and going, like, no, but that doesn't make any sense, though. And I go, oh, fuck.
I didn't enjoy that.
But I still have this...
It was a mistake to be happy.
But there's ghost happy inside of me. Right? Like, there are two parts.
Fucking Patrice O'Neal and Face Off, man.
Face Off! Yeah. Oh my god, Face Off is ass! Right?
It's like a fucking 3-4 minute breakdown.
That movie is shit!
He went from loving it to hating it.
You turned me on Face Off! God bless.
That fucking hand thing with the
yeah. The fucking hand thing, dude.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
Really? No. It's like... You know, I have those moments where I'm thinking back to like, there's two fucking rad moments in The Last Jedi that I'm like, man, those moments were good.
Yeah. I think Red Letter Media's breakdown of one of those moments is the best, where the movie fails that moment itself, or the coolest thing that has ever happened ever happens, and it cuts to a group of characters with extras just chatting in the background like they don't give a shit.
Oh yeah,
and it's
yeah,
that's the craziest thing that has ever happened.
Yeah.
How do you not care?
Easily. And in the same vein, because Star Wars is a great place for this, the end of Rogue One. Right?
Yeah, that's cool.
The end of Rogue One, I was fucking in. I was so in, and Red Letter ruined it.
Wait,
right?
What? No. Oh no.
Because they're like, why would he stop breathing for dramatic surprise?
Because
who does that?
Anakin's an edgelord. He did it for fun.
And I'm like, God fucking damn it! That moment works cinematically, though.
No, it should have.
And I got so mad.
He did it because he thought it'd be
so
cool.
Mad because he was so right. It was so.
Anakin's an edgelord. He did it because he thought it would be cool.
I clapped. I clapped when I saw him. And then it turns out to be pointless.
Oh, no.
And I'm still like, oh, but it was so fucking like, skin of their teeth. Anyway. Yeah, so big old week of disappointments. And that's that. You know, I was going to maybe say a thing or two about RE2 and MK11, but nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But RE2 did continue. And
It's a good game.
Close to beating it. I'd say last session went way smoother.
Much.
Went pretty quick. And despite some people, you know, calling it the snail through beforehand, I don't think that was.
You could say the first couple,
I do not
maybe,
think the last
but, like,
session
the
was
last
accurate
one
to that.
Positively normal.
Yeah.
By comparison.
And I feel like I cleaned house.
You're also apparently psychic now.
On that boss and on those locks, and I fucking ate it to a pretty good ambush.
Yes, you did.
So I think we did right.
Yeah. You did
So
good.
yeah, if you would like to check that out, that's over on my Twitch. That's Wooly Versus. But you can also check out the YouTube channel Wooly Versus, where parts will be going up alongside the Wonderful 101 and other fun things.
Other shit. Other stuff.
Yeah. What's going on?
Hey, man. So I honestly didn't really have that much of an interesting week. I woke up at 6 a.m. today and spent the entire day up until coming to this podcast modding Skyrim, as well as most of yesterday.
Why would you go back to that place in your life?
Because I'm going to do a stream of it later this week. Vampire the Masquerade's ending, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I want to play.
Okay.
And then I'm like, fuck it! Fuck it! Fuck it! So I have like 221 mods installed in Skyrim right now.
Is one of them the Macho Man?
No.
Damn it.
No, it's all lore appropriate.
Oh.
One of them's like, man, people, I don't understand the fucking mentality of some of these people, because like, you get into a fucking, like, the texture mod hole, and you're like, there's a guy out there who's like, I can't believe these fucking hand carts aren't 4K textured. And that's the mod. The mod is for the hand carts.
Can I ask a very, like, white bread question?
I don't really know what you mean by that in that context, but yeah, ask any question.
Is Skyrim good?
Yeah, Skyrim's great.
Okay.
And in fact, so Skyrim is mechanically simpler than Oblivion, but it is like better than, mechanically simpler than Morrowind, which is the one that everybody compares it to. But yeah, no, Skyrim's great.
What about Oblivion?
Oblivion's, boy, that didn't hold up well. That game coasted on the fact that it was the next gen title, but like everything about that game looks like garbage and has the worst main quest ever, and the landmass is really uninteresting overall.
So
and Oblivion gates are terrible.
So each one got better moving forward.
No, Morrowind is probably the best one, but it's unplayable now because it's like a fucking PC game from 2000 whatever. And it's one of those games where you swing the sword and the game tells you missed, and you're like, I fucking hit him. And they're like, well, your one arm skill sucks shit.
Okay.
So you missed.
Okay.
No, Skyrim's a great game. It's a legitimately great game, and it's probably going to be the best game that Bethesda ever made. And in fact, I'll say it's probably the last good game Bethesda will probably ever make, which is really depressing. No, it's a great game. Legitimately. Main quest is a little weak, and there's some problems, but no, it's good. But yeah, I decided, hey, fuck it. Stream that shit.
And?
Fuck. I got it all working.
Okay. How many mods?
220 whatever. The vast majority of those are texture mods. So you get your big texture mod that textures everything, but then you go and get, I want my horse texture mod, now I want my weapon texture mod, and it'll overwrite it. You just want to make sure you don't accidentally leave like one thing that looks like a piece of shit. Some of that shit's fairly impressive. The one interesting thing
Plague wants to invade us on Discord to shout at other things. I closed it, asshole. You can't come in.
He
Fuck
wants,
you.
He wants to. So when we're talking about the storyline shit, he wanted to talk about Voyager episodes.
I closed that shit.
And I'll be real, we need to devote like an hour of podcast time if we want to fucking talk about Voyager episodes, because that's trash fire.
Someone told me to watch Discovery because they thought I'd like it. I don't know if that's
that
true or
person
not.
thinks you're an asshole.
I asked
that person's
Blake,
dissing you,
and he said I don't know why they would, but I don't know. Well,
that
anyway.
person dislikes you, secretly or not. Well, the one thing, and I think this is a fairly good lead-in considering we talked about having a plan for your art. Paige and I, last night, watched the Sonic 06 fan dub. I don't know if you've seen this shit walking around.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Of the whole game?
Of the whole game. It is an 1.5 hour long movie.
Okay, it's a video. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the game modded.
No, it's a video.
Okay.
Of
all the cutscenes.
I don't even remember the group that did it. But you can look it up with Sonic 06 fan dub. This is the most accurate representation of like early college getting tired making jokes over a movie ever. Just the stupidest fucking shit.
Okay, hold on a second. Are we talking like parking lot?
No, well, no. They're dubbing it.
But was this dubbed in the parking lot?
No. It's a proper internet group that do funny jokes.
Okay.
Just like Shadow the Hedgehog yelling at people that he's the alpha gamer, and that he needs the Chaos Emerald weed to get out of the friend zone shit. Just the stupidest thing. And yeah, it's weak and it drags because, man, an 1.5 hour, 1 session long improv thing.
Oh, it's improv.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is gonna be rough. But there's some gold in there. There's some dumb fucking gold in there.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so fucking stupid. It's an experience.
Okay,
you
want to shout out the people that made this?
I don't know who made it.
Why don't you quickly look that up?
Oh, I could look it up. Right.
I mean,
Sonic 06.
I assumed that I could feel it in my bones that
this is made by Snapcube.
Okay. Yeah, I could feel it in my bones that you guys are up to some Sonic bullshit. Probably.
There's a lot of Sonic bullshit going around.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. It's time for Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with my week done, and the advertisement that I'll say you could check out more of me at my week at twitch.tv/angriestpat. That's twitch.tv/angriestpat. Gonna finish Vampire the Masquerade tomorrow, then play Yakuza, and on Friday... Wait, Friday? Yeah, Friday, it'll be the start of the Skyrim fuck through with this mods. Hopefully the thing doesn't catch on fire. With the end of that shit, let's move on to Sonic. You gotta tell me it's the most important piece of news this week.
I mean, part 2 of the story
is way more interesting
than part 1 of the story.
But part 1 of the story must be told. So the Sonic trailer came out for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
It sure did.
Proving, unfortunately, that not even Jim Carrey can carry the world.
There is going to be a... There's going to be a few times in the industry when a movie trailer comes out for this or the Mario movie and maybe like a Zelda thing.
Sure.
Where, like, it is everyone's immediate concern how good or bad this thing looks.
It's the most important thing in video games right now.
Period.
And it's a movie, right? It's like...
The impression upon watching the Sonic trailer was that, like...
that you fell into a time portal.
There's no way, there is no way that the people making this are not doing so knowing how bad and dumb it looks. Like, this is something that get...
That's not the real one, is it?
This is the trailer on their official Twitter.
You need to mute it immediately.
Okay.
You need to mute it immediately.
That's it muted. So, you would never...
That trailer is death.
Yeah.
For streams and YouTube.
So, you would straight up never assume that a video like this, or a character design like this based on this property, is not coming out of the year 2002.
It's a time warp. It's outrageous.
It's all the mistakes from 18 years ago happening in glorious 4K.
It's wild.
And you got Jim Carrey on board somehow. We talked about it when it first happened. Whatever.
Holy shit.
Fast fucking forward to...
Well, before we go that, it's like, gotta go fast is now the real tagline of actual Sonic.
Yeah. But that's why I
Why?
thought, because the Sonic, first of all, the Sonic Twitter guy making fun of Sonic himself the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? You think that's just hilarious.
Don't freeze the frame on his fucking disgusting freak human mouth.
And the whole gotta go fast thing makes me think, I was like, oh, are they going to make this a self-aware thing that they're acknowledging how horrible it is? And it's like, no, just that moment. All right. So it really is this, because Venom is a great example of an old superhero movie that leans into it in a way. And I'm like, are they going to lean into it? And I guess they did.
He's so fucking creepy.
So,
man,
Jeff Fowler, the self-proclaimed masher of creative potatoes and tamer of hedgehogs, tweeted out to say, "Thank you for your support and the criticism.
Oh man,
the message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design of Sonic the Hedgehog, and you want changes. It's gonna happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be. Hashtag Sonic movie. Hashtag gotta fix fast."
So, okay. Apparently, Sega and the fucking Hollywood assholes have been fighting for years over the design. With Sega being like, this looks like a fucking freakazoid shit pile. And them going, no, man, movies. You just gotta understand movies, man. And then this happens. They fucking hid this design from us until the last second.
They showed you his shoes.
And every time they showed anything, everyone went, oh, that looks aw-. And they waited till the last second they could possibly do, because they assumed that people would hate the design and there'd be a backlash. But they didn't expect it to be like world trending, universally reviled as it was. And now they have to fix it.
It's a legendary moment in tone deafness.
Yeah. Everyone internally, I will put my fucking life on it, told them this thing sucks.
And they said, let's see.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
So there's a thing happening now where people are, ultimately it's like people yelled enough and they went, please. And they're like, okay, fine. A couple reactions include some folks going, they probably planned it to be this awful to make this happen on purpose.
Nonsense.
Which is, you might as well tell me about the Flat Earth Dome while you're at it.
Yeah.
And then there's the folks saying that, like, but this means shitty crunch for a bunch of animators that they wouldn't have had to work
I'd like
beforehand.
to paraphrase a tweet that I saw earlier this week, which is, I think that the Sonic in the Sonic movie looks awful. Oh, so it is you who holds the whip to the backs of the animators, right?
Yeah.
Like, no. Me saying Sonic looks like a freakazoid nightmare is not me saying crunch those motherfuckers into dirt. It's actually me saying I can't wait to see this fucking pile of shit, and I can't believe it got this fucking bad before they actually showed it to us.
Yeah. I mean,
I would rather they keep this freakazoid shit.
I mean, quite frankly, those points are not mutually exclusive. You can delay a movie and continue to pay your artists.
You could do those things
to make the movie not look like stupid shit.
It's not my fucking responsibility to play nice with some exec suit's fucking feelings.
Yeah. You don't, but at the same time, like, saying that it looks bad doesn't mean that they have to abuse their artists. They can, try to fucking give them more time on the clock and continue to pay them to make it look not like fucking hedgehog paste.
It is a ridiculous fucking intellectually dishonest train of thought.
Yeah.
And it is the new way that people are defending their favorite companies by saying, don't criticize them because then they'll crunch the people. And it's like, fuck off. I'll criticize whoever the fuck I want.
I think it would be more accurate to say intellectually short-sighted, because it's like,
you give people too much credit.
It's such a, like, you're drawing a connection where you want there to be one because you're looking at your end result. And that's all you're thinking about. So you're just going line, point A, point B, and that's it. However, it's the redirection, it's the misdirection of the blame. Like we talked about the plastic bottles the other day. It's you know what I mean? It's like, thing sucks. Studios don't get, nope. It's the artists that have to get whipped cracked on them, and then there's no other way around. Anyway, that's not the point.
The actual Sonic looks like fucking shit.
And the real point is part 2 of the story, which just was a nice fucking tickled everyone pink when Yuji Naka himself came out to weigh in on the events. To which he tweeted, "The power of Sonic fans is amazing. It is good to go in a good direction. Thank you so much for loving Sonic." That is the most happy and like conflict-free way to say, holy fuck, that Trash Fire was garbage. Thank you so much for making them change it.
I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about Sega's corporate structure or Yuji Naka's place in it. Apparently that shit's run by the Yakuza. But you can't possibly fucking tell me that when the creator of a decades-old character that the shit's based off, who still fucking works at Sega and makes Sonic games that make money, comes out and says, "Oh, thank God that shit ain't happening," that Sega didn't enter into a fucking Faustian bargain here. Like, Sega clearly had some ideas, and they got brushed the fuck off by Hollywood types.
As they do.
As they do.
We're
told them that they don't know how to fucking make a movie.
Yeah,
so
we're
fuck
making
off.
John Leguizamo Mario Brothers in 2019.
This here is why Nintendo wasn't as crazy as many think to swear off film. Like, what, 25 fucking years ago after the Mario Brothers movie?
Because it's not that you can't make a good movie.
It's that Hollywood won't let you make a good movie.
The machine is too hard to tame, right?
The only way to make
Marvel barely did it.
The only way to do it is, like, you take Castlevania. Who made it? A bunch of people who just said, "Man, I fucking think Castlevania's dope.
Yeah.
Let's make a Castlevania, everybody." And it's not a big budget, $100 million fucking movie.
Yeah, it's quite amazing that that's how this is shaping up. But like, yeah, Yuji Naka himself weighing in, and then of course now like the other thing is, because this is not like because it's just a pure fucking render issue. It's like, you can show us like 4 test renders
right now.
You know what I mean? And then see how everyone feels about them, and then pick the winner, and
just
then
the most
re-render the movie.
The most artistically bankrupt shit ever.
Yep.
Like,
now, would you go for the proportion correction? Would you go for the eyeball correction? Would you
there are some designs, some fan design. By the way,
winners. There's some winners.
I would like to point out that this Sonic shit has shown everyone once again that independent amateur artists are everywhere apparently, and they're all amazing, because there have been 1,000 fucking amazing variations to the exact design. Make his proportions slightly different. Same design, looks a million times better. Change his eyes to be a furrowed brow. Well, all these fucking... they're all great.
And the only reason why is because Sonic is a weird cartoon idea.
Yeah.
It's not a thing.
He's based off of fucking Mickey Mouse. He wears white gloves like a cartoon, because that's how they're drawn, because... showing you Mickey Mouse's hands are weird and creepy.
So
this is a thing people knew back in the 1930s.
So just making this thing resemble the weird cartoon idea in our heads brings it closer to what you want to see.
He's always gonna be a weird cartoon.
Always can't take that away from it. I think between the set of changes, because you can, like, if I'm gonna split it down, I want to know how you feel about it personally. If you had to change, if you could only change one aspect, and we're talking creepy fur, creepy proportions, creepy teeth and flesh.
The teeth. It's the teeth.
Or the mono eye, split eye.
It's the fucking teeth. The teeth are the worst.
Yeah?
The teeth are the horrible.
For me, it would be the proportions. I think the proportions is what bothers me the most.
The human teeth are a fucking nightmare.
Because I remember the teeth on what was it? Wasn't there a render from Sonic 06 with a really goofy thing of him going like, eh, and he's seeing all these weird. Like,
yeah, he's got a mono tooth as well.
I'm thinking of something where you see a bunch of teeth in his mouth and it looks weird, but I don't know what it was from. Anyway, that's your vote.
Yeah, the teeth are bad.
Okay.
The fucking
I say
him going
proportions,
meow
100%.
with like a perfect row of human teeth is just Sonic's never drawn with teeth. You know why? Because it looks like shit. It completely fucks up the silhouette of his face and the color proportions of his face.
The other problem is Sonic is a bit like Homer, where his mouth is meant to be on the side of his face.
Yeah.
Because there's a big, like, flesh orb where the mouth is.
Is a character that has literally been designed from scratch to only be viewed from the side.
So when he turns his face to look at you from the front and his mouth is still on the side, it's fucking weird. But it's also why Sonic Adventure, like, talking animation was extra strange. Because it would be like, wow!
Yeah, it's hyper animated. It's fucking goofy.
But it's really just meant to be a hole on one side of your cheek.
I would love to see a fucking Sonic movie directed by Nagoshi. Lots of long pauses. Sonic smokes now. Oh, that'd be great. Yakuza Man.
Okay.
Nagoshi.
All right.
He's a big deal at Sega. Those games come out every year.
I know, I just don't know
You
the
know
names.
Yakuza's a fucking annualized franchise?
Is a what?
It's an annualized franchise.
That makes sense.
But, like, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
It's
that makes
fucking
sense.
nuts.
Because I've been between fucking hearing about 6 of them, then 0, and then Kiwami's. That sounds like a lot of video games.
Shin Yakuza. And then the online game.
I can't believe... I guess
And Fist of the North Star.
3 just sold that well, huh?
3 was a disaster.
So where'd all this money come from?
What do you mean?
To become an annualized franchise, you gotta be...
Oh, no. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, they all did really, really well in Japan. Out here, they were colossal failures. 4 did okay, I guess. But yeah, no, they did really, really, really well in Japan.
Okay. Well, anyway, speaking of Japan doing well, we got some news, which is pretty fucking awesome to me.
Everyone in Japan just found $100.
Platinum is going to start self-publishing its games.
With new IPs that they own to boot.
So that they can make their own sequels. Even though they kind of originally said, sequels, no, not really our thing. Or that was more so Kamiya that actually said that.
Whatever, man. They got jerked around so fucking bad over the past couple of years. They need to own their own shit.
But they've knocked out enough bangers, and they've made enough money as Guns for Hire that they can now the PMC that is Platinum Games can become Zanzibar Land.
Make its own country.
For soldiers. An outer heaven. For all who are weary.
I still firmly believe that they'll probably do work for hire. Because Platinum...
Of course you do.
...are masters of making amazing games that don't sell.
Of course
they are the greatest ever at the Critics' Darling.
You 100% take in outside solicited IPs that people want to have fucking cool action for. Vanity projects, if you would.
Yeah. Platinum makes the new Dead Space. Ooh, that'd be hot.
But obviously, as we talked about before, Square found the formula, which, no big fucking secret, if you combine them with narrative genius, you get a masterpiece. You just need to give them narrative genius.
No shade to be thrown on the story and writers over Platinum, but they should combine them with narrative genius. Like
narrative genius being provided for Platinum equals absolute fucking treasures. Absolute treasures.
That Nier game's gonna last.
It the weight of the fucking world, Pat. God.
You don't have to tell me. I knew way before you.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
Hey, you ever listen to that track and you have like you're like, I love this song, and then you have like a emotional outburst that you weren't prepared to have, and you're like, I should not listen to this out of the house, or like,
it hasn't happened yet, but I've had that with some other things for sure. Yeah.
Just like, oh, this song's great. Oh, I'm having a weird emotional reaction on the metro.
Right there. Yep. Let me try to... There's definitely something that's given me that. Certain soundtracks do that to me, but I have a hard time... I can't pull any... I have a hard time pulling it up right now, but there's definitely... Yes. I get those.
Yeah.
And you have to fucking ooh, hey.
You were listening to the Subverse main theme and you had an emotional reaction.
God. I've gotten it for I'm not just gonna sit here and try to remember what it was because that's not the point. But the Platinum. The news is that they sat down and they interviewed Platinum over at Video Games Chronicle, and Inaba basically said, "Yeah, we're gonna shift to an ethos of self-publishing." He doesn't want to depend on external publishers because it takes authority out of their hands.
Yep.
We have a lot of different choices in the way that we want to make games, and they value having freedom. So the biggest sticking point seems to be concern when sequels get made. It's simple and quite frankly the case with Bayonetta. It took a lot of time and energy to get to the point where sequels could be made. It wasn't as simple as picking up the phone and asking, hey, can we do this? There are a lot of pieces that need to fall into place and a lot of negotiating that had to occur. It's absolutely the truth that there are cases where you want to do a sequel, but you don't own the IP. You cannot do it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Bayo, you know? They had to wait for Sega and Nintendo.
It's all talk and blah, blah, blah.
To make the magic happen. And this, like, they're just like, we're fucking here waiting. We've probably already written it.
Yeah.
The GDD is sitting there. Just let us get to it.
And let's not even talk about working with Konami.
No, let's not.
I believe that game existed.
So, or working with Microsoft for that matter.
Yeah.
So the other part of this interview.
Good reason to self-publish.
So that's great. 2019 is an important year for Platinum because the other part of this interview is they had 2 original IPs in the works, and the other thing that Inaba said is one of them is a game idea that has never been done before.
I don't believe him.
You think it's just a twist on an idea that's been done before, that's never been done before?
No one's ever done an action game with robots! You know, that's what I hear when I
How
hear
far out of their wheelhouse are they possibly going to go? We got Infinite
Space. They made
Space.
Infinite Space.
We got Infinite Space.
So that's pretty far.
How far out, you know? That's the question. Will it be even a game with combat in it?
Yes.
Well, like at what point, like what does this idea mean? Let's get the actual quote. Right now we're in the middle of designing something that's never been done before. I know a lot of people say that, but the game we're working on truly is unlike anything else. Even for our varied history of veteran game developers, this is something that has never been designed before. From a game design perspective, we're very excited right now.
I don't believe him.
It's like this is Itsuno on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just going, no. Even with what you're thinking of, you couldn't possibly fathom the shit we got cooking. He's pushing this way hard. He's not saying to exceed your expectations, but he's saying from a game design perspective, never been done before.
I don't believe him.
Is there a character action MMO?
No. All right.
Is the closest thing we ever got Anarchy Reigns?
Yeah.
We might be getting
Anarchy Reigns is actually completely unique. There is no game like it ever.
Black Desert is a very action-based MMO where you do a bunch of shit.
And then the Russians lose your server progress.
But your character looks so fucking hot.
Oh, dude. So hot.
I think we might be getting a character action MMO.
Well, that has been done. Blade and Soul is that.
Is it?
Yeah, I just thought of it. People are also pointing out shit like Vindictus. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Okay.
But Blade and Soul is, yeah, it's a character action MMO.
Okay. Well, replace...
It's also a shitty Korean MMO, but hey.
Okay. Because I was going to say, you need a way to fight things that don't have to... You need a way to fight things for real, where you can juggle enemies and not fucking hit them for numbers.
You got a point.
So it's got to, you know what I mean? That's got to be a part of it.
You know what is actually never been done is a fighting game MMO.
That's not true. King
What?
of Fighters Online. Korea.
Man, Korea's got that shit on lock.
Back in the early aughts, you could walk around as Terry, Kim Kapuan, Mai, and then the two twins, Jae-hoon and Dong-hwan, because Korea. And you find somebody, and then you both agree to a duel, and then the camera rotates, and you play as a fighting game. Dungeon Fighter Online, people are saying. Dungeon Fighter Online, I thought that was a online beat 'em up, though. Right? I might be mistaken, but Min plays a lot of DFO, and he's always described it to me as an online beat 'em up, not an online fighting game. But yes.
I don't believe him at all. He'll be like, no one's ever done this with guns before. Like,
is it just going to be character action plus genre that we're not expecting? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They make one type of game.
They two.
Not really. They had a director on Infinite Space that never worked on anything again at Platinum.
And technically, they have credits on Star Fox, so asset creation. So that's what they're doing. We got. Meanwhile, over stateside.
Hey, down in the U.S. with our America pals. What up, America?
You got your boy Randy. You remember Randy? When we last left Randy.
His name is Randy, dude.
When we last left Randy, what was he up to?
Misplacing some shit.
Well,
and before that, he was talking about how much people were making pornography of his game that no one was playing. And before that, he was defending one of the most shoddily released pieces of shit ever. And before that, he was stealing Sega's money to cancel a game and then fund Borderlands 2. And then before that, he was a magician.
God damn it, Randy. Those were perfectly good chicken fingers.
What's Randy up to now?
Well, apparently arguing with Claptrap.
He's doing a lot of stupid shit this week, actually.
In public. Because David Eddings implied that he was not coming back.
Wooly, why you gotta fuck Randy on this, man?
Hey, I'm just.
Why you gotta fuck Randy on this?
I'm not. I have no interest in fucking Randy.
Why you gotta do this to him?
I'm just reporting.
You know what he meant? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
So, yeah, we got reviews coming in as well. There's a lot of Randy, but we're starting with the Borderlands 3 story where the guy who voices Claptrap, David Eddings,
apparently did that shit for free
and felt that he got screwed over,
which he did.
And basically, he has decided that he's not coming back. And Randy didn't like that.
Well, it's more like Randy decided that he's not coming back once David said, hey, can I get paid for this voice work of the company's fucking mascot? And now there's a new voice actor for Claptrap.
Borderlands 3 can't seem to resist getting caught up with yet another controversy. Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford has called out Claptrap voice actor David Eddings, who voiced Borderlands franchise mainstay robotic mascot every game leading up to Borderlands 3, for being bitter and disgruntled amongst the news that he won't be returning to the upcoming title. The drama comes on the heels of Pitchford's heated criticisms of Game Informer's coverage of Borderlands 3, implementation of microtransactions. This all started when Eddings himself confirmed on Twitter that he won't be reprising his role as Claptrap. The microtransactions, if we may continue.
Oh my god, dude.
Is the part 2.
So I want to point out for the David Eddings thing, he was a senior producer or some shit on Borderlands 1 and 2, and I think pre-sequel even. So apparently he was doing the voice under that role, which is the reason they gave for not paying him on that.
Yeah.
He doesn't work there anymore. So he's like, hey, am I going to do Claptrap for 3?
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay me, though. They were like, nah.
Met him at Screw Attack Convention. He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. Claptrap's a cool character.
I
like Claptrap. I actually unironically love Claptrap. But yeah, so let's get to microtransactions and fucking Randy.
I like getting paid for my work.
I forget what the fuck I think it was on your stream, or I was like, do you motherfuckers work for free? Because I don't.
That's so that's the first part of the story.
You do work, you get fucking paid. Anyone tells you should do work for any other reason other than get paid, tell them to shove it up their fucking ass.
For exposure.txt.
Yeah. Especially if they're like, it'll ease your soul or your conscience or some shit.
Well, what I want to know is, because the people that are usually listed on For Exposure are just so far outside the realm
of like reality
that this is what they think is acceptable, right?
Yeah.
But like, I would like to know how many people were people whose minds were of the For Exposure variety.
That not as strong.
But encountered people laughing at them on For Exposure. Not them directly, but people laughing at that. And them going, oh.
Wait, this is not how it's done, huh?
This is bad? Yeah. And how it's not just like the client from hell in a business sense, but it's the client from hell in a, can you draw me an avatar for free, please do it.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything anyway. In fact, you should pay me for the honor.
You know what's like... You know what's like a really good way how For Exposure actually works, like unironically? It's an artist named Fingers, but you spell all the it's fingers, like all letters, but all the vowels have been replaced with numbers, right? Like F1 NG3 R5, right? I think he does some great music. He's got a bunch of great albums. So back when Twitch made this fucked up shit where it looked like they were going to crack down on everybody that was using any music whatsoever, I reached out to him because I knew that he watched my stream. I was like, hey man, do you mind if I borrow one of your tracks for my intro thing? He was like, yeah, great. So, okay, thanks. This is not a track that he made, right? This is a track that he had lying around. I'm like, do you mind if I use it? Sure. So I put on the thing, play the thing. People ask, hey, what's that? I go, hey, it's Fingers. It's this guy. He's got a bunch of albums. Go buy them. And now I'm doing this now. That's how it's supposed to work. But when you go to somebody, you go, make this for me now.
My recent stream loading screen has been Marcus D, a fucking godlike dude that's been making New Jabez style beats, and was like, I need to get my stuff in the hands of people, internet people, to share it with a bigger audience. And I'm like, I will gladly expose the world to your genius.
Yeah.
And that's the real version of that.
But when Timmy says, draw me a Sonic OC with the big wings, Tommy's not going to go around telling everybody how great the artist is and that they should buy it. And also, who gives a fuck who Tommy is? Tommy's a bitch.
Draw me Wendy from Gravity Falls walking through the forest, and then she suddenly becomes a werewolf. I want it to be a story in 43 panels. Why do you seriously need 43 panels to make that happen?
And each one must be veinier than the last.
Yes. I will tell you exactly what to draw in every panel. How much would that cost me? Well, one panel of color, at least $5. So
at least that's a low ball too.
Okay, well, how about you just not color? How about you just like, I guess I can you do it for like less than that per panel? And I was like, I can sketch it on a napkin if you want. I can just do a loose sketch. Like, okay, how many panels would you do for free? Okay, I'll tell you I'll tell you every story, but she needs to be walking through the forest and then turn into a werewolf, and then she needs to get hurt a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But then start getting turned on by it.
Yeah.
Can you draw this? Why haven't you drawn it yet? It's been 3 hours.
My erection's not going to go away until you draw it.
So do those people encounter these moments or these things that everyone else is laughing at and kind of nervously look around?
No. Those people look at that and they go, that's ridiculous, and look at themselves with no introspection whatsoever. Because people who think like that are self-absorbed. And life is about me. And everybody else is a player in their game. It's protagonist syndrome.
I know.
I'm the one. Me.
You know, we always already know the answer. We just try to hope that it's not the same
Can I talk to your manager?
Karen?
Oh!
Is that you, Karen?
Oh, man!
You robbed me and you took the kids, and now you want to talk to the manager?
I'm getting fucking blown up in my soul by the Karen shit. Cause I used to fucking hang out with Karen every day of my fucking life at the grocery store.
Oh, Karen. Oh, yeah, she's out there.
There she is, skulking in the fruit aisle, fucking up the tomatoes. Why? Because fuck me, I guess. You fucking bitch.
The best was was the screenshot of Endgame, fucking Captain Marvel, and just like Captain Karen out there asking to see the universe's manager.
It's so real.
Thanos, I'm gonna need to talk to the manager. That's great. Yes. The answer is me. All the way, all the time. It's true.
Unironically of me. As Eli would point out.
Mm-hmm. In this case, literally rubbing their nipples while sending those messages.
That's correct.
So, the other problem was that people have been giving... Game Informer specifically has been reporting on the microtransactions, or whatever you want to call it, that lets you get cosmetic items in Borderlands 3.
Let me paint y'all a picture.
Do it.
Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal. Mr. Randy Pitchford gets up on stage and says, hey guys, you know, we're going to be doing, that cosmetic DLC stuff, but don't you worry. We're not going to have any microtransactions. We're not going to have any of that loot box, pay to win crap in our game.
Randy, will your game have mini buys?
Yeah, of course.
But no
microtransactions.
Got it.
Game Informer then goes and says, hey, Randy Pitchford just said there's no microtransactions. And then like 5 seconds later was like, but you can spend money to buy skins. We're pretty sure, and this is in the article, he meant that loot box crap, as evidenced by the phrase, not that loot box crap. But, yeah, it's totally going to have microtransactions.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Pitchford takes umbrage with this obviously honest and correct characterization of his direct quotes. Going, why you gotta fuck me on this, Game Informer? Why you gotta fuck me? You know what I meant. Then he goes down the rabbit hole and starts arguing with everyone who points out that he's probably a thief and a weirdo and an asshole. And we get all the way back to him going and saying shit like, aliens, colonial marines had a lighting engine that was truly next gen, and you were all just too fucking stupid to or whatever the fuck he's talking about. Holy shit, Randy.
While you were doing nothing, I was creating Brothers at Arms, creating Borderlands, shipping 10 other games.
Stealing Sega's money.
Pissing on aliens fans, scamming Sega.
Not paying the voice of my company's mascot.
Leaving a USB key on a table somewhere.
Filled with, I don't know, allegedly.
Filled with allegedly.
Filled with allegedly.
So...
Speaking of me...
The creative director, Paul Sage, stepped in to explain and clarify that they're not selling cosmetic items, but they're gonna they're selling cosmetic items, but they're not going to nickel and dime players, and that DLC will come down the line, but it won't have anything excessive.
Then maybe that's what you should have said.
Well, that's not what Randy said. That's what Sage said.
Jim did a decent piece on this, where it's like the constant sliding scale of what words mean is like horrible.
Oh,
microtransactions.
The treadmill.
Microtransactions now they only mean loot boxes. No, they mean shit to buy after the game come out.
Our game features no mini buys.
No mini buys.
We do have Tinydeals, however.
Oh no! Oh shit!
We do that.
I hate it. I hate it. This sucks, man.
We might feature a couple of tiny deals.
Fuck, that's a work of genius in your mind. Oh, Christ, did you think of that while you were saying it? Oh, fuck, that's amazing. You get a gold star.
Don't get alarmed. Don't get it twisted.
Fucking shit.
Not gonna nickel and dime anybody. All right.
Randy looks like a man terrified he's going to jail. He acts like a man who expects the cops to show up the next day. He is fucking swinging at everybody who comes at him. Like, it's nuts.
There's a level of I don't know what to call it, because it's not like Cavalier Cowboy, but it's like, you know, but you've encountered the brashness of the Twitter developer online in a public forum.
You could say that.
And then the brashness of the Twitter developer on an alt account. However,
it's a wild ride, isn't it?
However, there's something about like this where you're I guess you're just feeling so righteous in the indignation that you're kind of like, you think it's a good idea.
You know what's to
go in as hard as you're going when you're attached to a product that has tons of people's jobs involved.
Yeah. So here's a really good example. So I'm not going to put the word allegedly in front of this. Randy Pitchford's an asshole. And a really good example is one that Jim brought up recently. Randy Pitchford pretends he doesn't know who Jim Sterling is, but brings him up all the time while pretending that he doesn't remember his name.
In what context?
You're like, oh yeah, there's that British guy. He's big. He hates me so much. He's always on my, that kind of shit. And just to...
What's his name? Stardust?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a fucking guy. He's an asshole. Everybody's trying to get...
He fucks boglins and he collects pogs?
Yeah.
That guy?
He's related to Willem Dafoe.
His theme song is Born Innocent. That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Really specific details.
He's a cornflakes homunculus character on his show.
What's his name?
I don't know. Jam. But it's like
Jam Silver.
But this is different even. This is like wild reactionaryism. This is a man who should be on top of the world. His game is going to be so huge, even with all the controversy shit around it. People are so excited for Borderlands.
Yeah, did you see the punch girl with the arms?
Yeah, you should be so happy. The game looks great.
She has abs.
Yeah. I prefer the robot man, because that's where I go. But whatever. It's all good.
You can take your robot man.
I like a robot.
I'll take the abs.
All right, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah. Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Right? But instead, he's just like desperate for validation that no one's ever going to give him now.
Again, very strange to take the whole thing on your back when it's a fucking... Anyway, when you're the spokesperson, I suppose...
well, he should stop being the spokesperson.
In this this is one of those moments where, like, you would expect the kitten hand to come out and just... rest its paw.
It's time to stop posting.
The rest its paw on your hand and just be like, Randy.
I think the problem is that I think Gearbox is Randy's company. I don't think anyone can tell him to shut the fuck up.
Could be.
Which is its own fun.
Could be. I mean, there's situations like that. Like no one's gonna fucking stop Ed Boon from doing what he wants because he said.
Yeah, but Ed Boon's a classy bitch.
I mean, he does. He will come out and fucking troll everybody and lol at shit and that.
And occasionally be super wrong.
Yes. I forgot that that's extremely hyperbolic. Wow. I was about to say something very hyperbolic, and I'm going to correct myself because it's not a story on the docket. But there were a number of people upset that we didn't talk about the dumb things
MK11
happening
shit.
in Mortal Kombat 11.
There's some dumb fucking shit in that game.
And they came at it from a call-out perspective.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you talk shit about DOA, but you won't talk shit about Mortal Kombat.
And I was like, I just didn't buy the game until the Tuesday when I did the stream for it,
Yeah,
so I hadn't touched
also,
anything.
I didn't touch any of that single-player shit, so it's not even something that I would know.
Not paying attention to it.
If you want to pay attention to that shit, actually go talk to Max, because Max is diving deep on that shit and is well aware of just how about awful it is.
But I promise you, if you are concerned about a story not coming up in this way, it is not out of some sort of weird let's protect Mortal Kombat thing.
Oh, I don't.
It was literally, I had not been paying attention to it until I picked it up for the stream.
Yeah, I'm trying to protect the game that I'm like, I don't like it. It's a bad story.
It's weird. People are very, very weird. I don't know. But regardless, they had a bunch of stupid microtransaction things.
It sure did.
And the crypts sound awful, and watching Maximilian on stream with the whole thing, and the story that accompanied with the $6,000.
Yeah. And then Boone comes out and goes, that's bullshit. You're super wrong, and we don't make games like that. And it's like, but you did.
And it turns out it's not. Is he though?
But you did.
Thorface. Is he? Yeah. And then it turns out that it's not that much money, but it's still egregious.
Yeah.
And patches went live and gave people shit. And then someone had a bug where you can go into the crypts and get free shit just to be like, do this before they patch it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Heard about that. That was bad. That was dumb. Don't do that. Don't do this either. Don't do that.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
What's the over-under on Randy getting hauled off to jail before that game comes out?
Okay, but I asked you last time, is Dennis Dyack in jail?
And I said no, but the guy who they found all that shit on his computer is absolutely in jail. Because Dyack didn't break any laws. Dyack's just a fuckboy.
Okay, so he just said things on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It was the other guy.
It was the lead programmer or some shit? I forget who it was.
Okay.
For Shadow of the Eternals or whatever the fuck that game was called.
Well,
that's what killed that game. Because they were starting to get some momentum, and then it's like, one of the leads of this game got taken away for some alleged pee-pee time on his computer.
His allegedlies. We can just...
His allegedlies.
Yeah.
His bad no-nos.
He had some allegedlies.
Yeah.
And that was no good.
People in the chat don't know who Dennis Dyack is.
Okay, well...
Oh, man, that sucks.
He was forced to... do crunch time in a different location.
Well, breaking rocks.
Yeah. Well, Godspeed, Randy.
Don't go to Japan, Randy. Ever. Sega's always been rumored to have ties to the Yakuza. And if anybody's gonna get fucking disappeared, it's the guy who stole like $30 million of Sega's money.
Okay. Yeah. You think there's a dude in a white suit out his window that might do something cool?
Yeah.
Any minute now. Yeah, they're still bitter about that one, huh?
Money's money. Money don't go away. Until it does.
Alien makes me sad because it's a franchise that can't win on any front.
Obsidian was supposed to do a goddamn Alien RPG.
Neil Blomkamp was probably going to crush it with an Alien movie. And I haven't been on the comics in a hot minute, but the last run I read was not very good. That was a long time ago, though.
I mean, shit, I have like a fucking like underdog shit thing going on with Obsidian. I love that company. And one of the reasons they almost fucking fell apart is because the Alien deal fell through because Randy fucked Sega. Like,
yeah. And I mean, the other good stuff eventually happened. But is the most flawless branch of the Alien franchise the toys?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The toys are God's fucking gift.
Aces, man. They're great.
Historical.
Apone had that arm and he could fucking throw the grenade.
Hicks had that blaster and it was really strong and take your eye out.
Oh, yeah.
Gorilla Alien.
Those were really good.
Bull Alien.
Yeah. The blue one was the gorilla. The red one was the bull. The yellow one was the scorpion.
Scorpion was brownish.
You'd push on the back
and it
would pop up and explode.
You got the queen with the fucking squeezed...
I had that queen. That queen is dope. It's
huge,
so big.
Detachable tail.
It's so fucking big.
Extra mouth. Extra arms. Good balance.
Yeah, it would stay on its feet real well.
Hell yeah. Good fucking run. Good run.
Toys are shit, man.
All right. Xbox teases Game of Thrones.
Oh, I thought you meant Xbox teases Xbox. You see that shit? Where the Xbox official Twitter account just tweeted the word Xbox.
And then every other product... Every other product got involved in doing it.
That feels like you want to pat Xbox on the head and go, yes, Xbox, Xbox.
Yeah. So we saw some. They tweeted a fiery burning thing that looks like the bottom of a sigil from Game of Thrones, and it says, "And now your wait begins," which is also something that sounds like a Game of Thrones line. And there might be a video game of Game of Thrones coming that is not the Telltale game, nor the Men of the Wall game that we played way back when. Who knows? This might be the game where you play the good ending this time.
Hey, great. Awesome. Sounds like this week was the perfect time to announce it.
I mean, they couldn't possibly have expected things to go the way they did.
Yeah, I know, but still, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Like,
it really is. But it would be quite fun to see this be like, I don't know, let's say they get creative freedom to just be like, yeah, depart from the world, do whatever you want. And then they can just go like, we're doing season 8, but we're doing it good this time.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Crush it. Get it. Not much to that, though. There's a whole lot going on with this, though. There's some meat in this. This was one I know no one... Well, you saw it coming, you just didn't see the specifics. Blank acquires Psyonix was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of who wants that Rocket League money.
And then, in hindsight, you go, oh, of course.
Why wouldn't they?
Why would it be anyone but Epic or Tencent? Turns out it was Epic. And Tencent.
Epic seems to be fond of just taking shit.
I don't know who said it, but they pointed out that maybe it was Marcus, but it was like Epic's getting real good at pissing people off.
It's kind of nuts and weird because it used to not be that. And I remember when it was just another name that you would say and people go, oh, cool, yeah, those guys.
Yeah, oh, Gears of War, yeah. I like
Gears of War, yeah.
Cool.
And
Oh,
that
no,
was
Tournament's dope.
Yeah, sure, you know? And even, like, you'd go like, fucking, what was it, Chair, right?
Yeah.
That was a subsidiary of them,
Yeah,
I believe.
they did that
Infinity
diving
Blade,
game or whatever the fuck that was.
right? And
that was
then,
cool.
And then and then they'd be like, oh, yeah, Epic, yeah. And then something happened.
Tencent.
And then
Fortnite.
another thing happened.
Fortnite.
And then another thing happened.
More Fortnite.
And then the store happened. And
Fortnite.
I mean, Cliffy happened.
Yeah.
A bunch of shit happened. But now you kind of go like, ugh.
So
Ruh-roh.
they bought Rocket League.
They bought Psyonix.
They bought Rocket League. And they're talking about that game getting pulled from Steam a year from now.
And put on the Epic Game Store.
Which would be a first. Taking your... So, one, they're never going to take that game away from people who already bought it, right?
God bless.
That's absurd. That's never going to happen. Anyone who thinks that is pie in the sky insane. Steam would have to refund you, and that's a whole fucking thing. But I can't think of anything ever where a game came out on a platform and then someone bought it and then the game stopped coming out for that platform and then moved to a different platform. That's fucking wild.
Simply for fuck you reasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's like if a X-Men series came out on the Nintendo exclusively and then Sony bought it and then it wasn't for a sequel, just they stopped selling that game on the Nintendo and moved it over to the PlayStation.
Well, let's read
it's
a short
fucking wild.
Let's read a short Q&A regarding the acquisition via Psyonix. No, really, what does this mean for Rocket League? In the short term, nothing will change at all. Still committed to providing Rocket League. So on and so forth. In the long term, we expect to bring Rocket League to the Epic Game Store, leverage our new relationship in ways we couldn't do on our own before.
I'm kind of shocked. This shit hasn't ended yet.
We believe that bringing Rocket League to the new audiences with more support is a win for everybody. Will gameplay be different? Nope. What does it mean for Rocket League esports? Which I know some fighting game players that have gotten in on that.
Yeah.
Actually. We think it's a great move, and so ultimately, it really is.
Yeah, whatever. Go fuck yourself. It's about the money.
We want your esports game.
Yeah,
to be a big hit on.
Give us the esports.
Yeah, and we want it on our awful platform.
And like, look, Fortnite's a big fucking deal. It's the biggest fucking deal ever. Rocket League is also a big fucking deal, but for the sports.
And this is
sports
all
bros.
Well, and this would all be fine if like the store wasn't shit.
Store's still really bad. Navigating it sucks.
Like, just think, like, if anything was delisted from another store and then put on Steam, whenever that happens, people go, oh, yay, finally, it's on Steam.
Or it gets delisted from Steam and goes back to GOG.
But now, you've unfortunately got to fucking go watch this go the other way around, and, like, because I want to play Hades, I got no choice.
Well, you could wait a year.
Yeah, I suppose I could. Or play, and in this case, it's like play it on not PC.
Or if you wanted to play Metro Exodus, you could shove it up your ass. If you want, if you want to play it on Steam.
That's an alternative.
Alternatively, you could
platform.
You could time travel to the month before Metro Exodus became Epic Store exclusive when it was still being pre-orderable on Steam. I found out about that shit the day I was gonna go pre-order it on fucking Steam, and I missed it. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Well, in any case,
good for Microsoft.
That's a big money.
They don't look as fucking evil anymore.
That's big money Rustlas right there. That's huge. Did they give a number? Did they announce a number?
Did you just fucking talk about the fucking ICP Western big money Rustlas?
I sure did. You got a problem with that? You got a problem with my Shaggy 2 Dope reference?
What the fuck? That movie's so bad. They're in the makeup. In the West.
You got a problem with my Down with the Clown reference? Can we not move on?
Where did you pull that from?
I was just trying to move on.
Why do you even know about that?
I'm aware. I know what Fago is. I'm trying to move on.
What fucking category of your brain did you pull that from?
Trying to move on.
All right, okay.
It's a great name.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
They're big money wrestlers.
Yeah, we're gonna rustle some big money.
Yeah, they're cowboys in the Old West, but they're clowns.
For God.
You know how it is.
Yeah, this is a dark carnival back in the Old West.
Woo woo.
The fuck?
You want good shit.
Yeah, let's hit me some good shit.
Because, as we all know, they're tied to wrestling.
Yes.
And Dean Malenko and such.
Yeah. What was the name of the wrestling league? If you remember.
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I can't.
It was ICP Champion Shit Wrestling.
Okay. Didn't catch that.
Because they thought it would be funny to call it shit wrestling.
Yeah.
Instead of championship wrestling.
Yeah. Didn't go that deep. Didn't catch that.
I've seen a video of fucking, I think it was Shaggy lose a match and then go back to the table with Jay and fucking announce the rest of the match with him out of it.
That sounds like the kind of wrestling where juggalos would just walk out of the crowd and enter the ring.
It's a fucking shit show.
I have to imagine.
It's the worst, man.
But on that note of wrestling, I'm not sure if you have heard the true story of GOLDDUST.
I have not.
You're familiar with the character GOLDDUST.
I'm familiar with the character GOLDDUST.
GOLDDUST
it's a classic
is
character.
Great, right? Dustin Runnels, genius. There's an article I'd like to call your attention to because it's a good fucking read. And this is over on ProWrestlingStories.com, and it's basically a retrospective on this character and how he came to be, how he shaped up, and how essentially it was built on Dustin Runnels trying to get away from Dusty Rhodes like character, which is like a lot of what he was about in WCW, and how he wanted to create something new as far away from what he was as possible.
Out of Dusty's shadow, which is enormous. Dusty's a hero.
Yep. They successfully did so by creating fucking GOLDDUST. Him and
Weirdo.
McMahon just brain shot. What's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. They workshopped this idea. Brainstormed this idea for like this weirdo that was actually canonically androgynous at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? And like it worked too well that they started getting backlash from people at the time, and like a lot of like super religious leagues and whatnot that like wrestling fans that were just like that Bible thumping were not happy.
Yeah, good. Get some heat.
And it was good heat, but it became too much heat.
Oh no.
And then it became like, we're not going to support you heat. It became bad heat after a while. But then he was like, this is fucking great.
Sorry, my gimmick is too amazing.
And then they started being like, yo, tone it down. And he's like, but I want to lean in even harder.
I want to tone it up.
This is amazing. And like you basically, it's a long read, but it's not that long, but it's a good breakdown of like how committed he was to the character and how it worked so much and so well, because it like, think about like what was it, La Pimpernella, or God, come on, help me out here.
La
Escarletta
Pimpernella?
Pimpernella Escarletta, I want to say.
Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yeah. Right? But from Lucha.
Yeah.
Right, from Lucha Underground. In this case, this is like, that's like half selling the character, just trying to do this goofy thing, and you're like, and whatever, like, oh, I'm going to kiss you. Oh.
That's a cartoon.
And GOLDDUST was committed, COMMIT, committed to the bit. And like,
kayfabe, but just for me. You know,
and like parts of it would include like fucking with the Undertaker in the ring to get him to actually start like hitting him for real by creeping him out and working hard and like, you know, and like and whatnot. Like it was great. It's great. At some point, of course, the bit died down. Yeah, because he had to tone it down because Vince was forcing him to tone it down.
Because Vince is Vince.
And it got to the point where he's like, okay, well, let's make him a creepy like kind of fetish guy that's more into like weird, like at one point she starts dressing up as like some of the other like wrestlers and the divas at the time, but then he puts on like a ball gag and like a Madonna spike
make
bra.
Everybody super uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then like a jock strap and G-string, and then he's walking with a chain around his neck and an old person's walker. Yeah, you know what I mean, and whatnot. Like, so. And it was weird at first and whatnot, but then he turned into Voldo.
Yeah, he turned into Voldo.
But then it didn't really go much further because it just kind of was dying out. Then they had the Booker T team up, and that was a nice big resurgence as well. Yeah. But fire kept dying out every time, and they're like, how do we reignite this flame? What do we do? And then eventually one day, Dustin himself comes up with a great idea, and he says, let's go back to the origin source that we had, and let's make it realer than it ever was. And that brings us to the title of this article, which I have scrolled past.
Intentionally.
GOLDDUST, how the Bizarre One tried to get breast implants to reinvigorate his character. He literally walks in to Vince's office and says, dude, if you pay for them, I'll get breast implants.
I'm gonna get some titties.
I'm gonna get some big old honkers. And chest beefers plus wrestling equals big ol' hits.
Big money.
Everyone, including his wife Terry, were like, dude, what the fuck? And they're like, what about when you're not wrestling and you're living your normal life outside the ring?
95% of your total time.
And he's like, yeah, fuck it. It'll be worth it if we can get back up there.
I bet this dude really loves the prestige.
I think I'm going to say the fact that he came from his father's shadow and built a
desperate to get out of it,
huge legacy for himself that was the complete opposite of his dad's, and it wasn't had nothing to do with continuing his dad's legacy. He built it himself. He was very, very happy about that, and like literally to the point where he was willing to alter his life to walk around with titties. specifically because he wanted to do it for the character.
Yeah.
Never mind the idea of taking a huge body slam and possibly puncturing one mid-match and what that might mean.
Didn't one of China's pop during one of her matches?
I have no idea.
Because like if you got a silicone one, that's like life threatening.
That's absolutely life-threatening. You can die.
Yeah.
If that shit leaks into you. Horrible idea. I don't know, but apparently that's what he was going through, and then they like rightfully like and it says that Vince considered it for a moment.
Well, Vince would consider all sorts of fucking weird shit for a moment. He wanted the goddamn fucking Steph pregnancy incest storyline to go forward, if you remember that shit.
I did not hear about that.
He wanted to have a fucking storyline where Steph was pregnant and it was his baby. And then when Steph was like, fuck off, what the fuck? He's like, well, what about Shane?
Wow. Okay. Well, how old was this?
This is late Attitude Era.
Late Attitude? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it feels like Jean-Paul Levesque and Steph have since kind of reined him in and taken more power and have more say.
Vince will always be Vince.
He will always be Vince.
And right up until the day he dies, his influence will be felt. And then for a little while afterwards, too.
In his new form.
Yes.
When his body resurrects in a temporary state as he looks for the soul transfer that Undertaker refused to do. Yeah, that's fucking dedication. That's
ridiculous.
That's some shit right there. And I want to say as well that
how can you say wrestling's fake?
Well, the wacky
that's
part,
the realest shit I ever heard.
The wacky part is that like nowadays the tech for you to just buy some titties and put them on in your costume would have been there.
Yeah, it's much improved.
And it's really, really good
you
now.
Just take them off.
You could have just done that.
Yeah.
So yeah. I thought that was pretty fucking strong. And really, GOLDDUST is legendary.
Yeah.
God bless.
Good wrestler.
Let's get some really quick ones out. Just some fun little final stories here.
Yeah, what do you got? Hey, what's good? Any good news in here?
One, Shiki is back. The cool character from Samurai Showdown 64.
She's cool, man.
She's the good one. They saved her, and they rescued her from her own game. They put her in.
That's a hell of a well.
They put her in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, and she has since become a fan favorite because her design is killer.
She's cool.
Very cool design. She teleports and she spins blades around, and she's got one of them heterochromia things going on.
I like my heterochromia. So
she's a very specific waifu design. And this trailer is showing off that, yep, she's got all the moves that she used to. Frankensteiner, teleport, Shoryuken, spinning blade attack. It's all there. Shiki looks great. It's one of those ones where you kind of go like, there's a lot of old forgotten characters, but you want to bring her back.
Samurai Shodown has way more characters than I thought it did.
But the bad games have winners in them.
Yeah.
That are worth saving.
Like that guy with the wrist shit. The Goku. Is that the wrist weights?
Seeger?
I don't fucking know these characters' names. He turns into a Goku.
Oh,
you like him.
Yeah, Enja.
Yeah.
Well, I like Kazuki, but
yeah.
Enja's the god version. Yeah. Yeah, the fire god.
Yeah, that guy. He's got fire.
I like the normal dude version
Goku
of him instead, but sure, why not? Blue Oni, Red Oni with his brother Sogetsu. So that's cool. Meanwhile, in the other rad fighting game new character announcement, Punch Planet is showing off their new character.
It's fucking the robot from KOTOR.
It's Ed 109
on wheels,
right? It's really brief
it's
clip.
T3, that's his name. Yeah.
Really brief clip.
What a weird fucking looking character.
But it's a little robot.
Yeah.
It's a little fucking robot. And it's cute. It's a little Star Warsy and a little RoboCop-y. And I love it. I fucking love it. Can't wait for more details on that. And this game continues to look insanely gorgeous. They also had an update recently with new costumes for certain characters. So it's trudging along, and that's great. really happy about that. Lastly, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Washington Post for writing up a fun story, and I got to talk a little bit about the Let's Play business in it.
How's the Let's Play business?
Not so great.
What? Why?
It's on the outs. However, it does serve a purpose that Twitch does not cover, and yeah, if you want to take a little read about that and Jack Black and PewDiePie and the history of all of that,
you see,
and the Game Grumps and
Jack
us.
Oh wait, we're in there.
And they're a little bit
fucking sick. You see how Jack masks his face cam?
No,
it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
What did he do?
So you're looking at a photo of Jack Black, and he's got the game. He's got himself in the upper left corner.
Yeah.
So he is showing that his main feed is him in the room, and he has a green screen from his waist down and in the room to his left, and is masking the game onto the green screen.
I don't even understand what you're saying.
Like he's sitting in imagine a rectangle of green screen.
Yeah.
And he cuts out the upper left and sits behind it. And then puts the game footage on the green screen.
Oh, he physically cuts a hole in the green screen.
It's the most backwards shit I've ever seen.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he thought that's how you do it.
Does his kid? No, but his kid is in charge.
I don't know.
Does his son know what he's doing?
I don't know. Why not just put the fucking camera on top of the footage?
You fucking crazy old man. What are you doing? He's changing the game. That's what he's doing.
It's fucking nuts.
He's reinvigorating the dead art of the Let's Play.
Posted a screenshot of the setup, and I was like, why would you do it like this?
Yeah.
It's the most backwards fucking shit ever.
And Gene Park, the guy who wrote it, gave proper shoutouts to Slow Beef for fucking starting this gangsta shit.
Yeah, I like Slow Beef.
That's the motherfucking thanks he gets.
He's a classy man.
There you go. And Diabetes.
Yeah, but I don't know Diabetes, so I can't speak for him.
Exactly.
I know that the Slow Beef is invigorated, and despite being old, very handsome.
Yeah, I've had a beer with Slow Beef. I haven't had a beer with Diabetes, so
I don't know where Diabetes is at.
I don't know, but either way, that's the only reason why we're like, yeah, Team Slow Beef.
Yeah, exactly.
We met the guy. He's cool.
Acquaintance/friendship formed with Slow Beef.
It could have been anyone. Good guy. Good guy.
Diabetes, I'm sure you're very nice.
Fantastic. Yeah. So there's that. All right. Let's get into what's going on here. Yep. Riot walkout. Everyone's yelling about a riot walkout. The riot walkout is happening.
It's supposed to be happening right now.
Happening right now, happening live. Riot walkout. People are walking out at Riot.
League of Legends is over. No, it's not.
Riot walk out.
Let's hope there's not a riot, everyone.
Big ol' riot out. Walkout happening at Riot.
Go
riot
fuck yourselves
out.
and go fuck me. I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
all right.
Devil May Cry 1 is coming to Switch. This was actually the first story, but I skipped it because of the segue.
Yeah, fuck this story. Dante in Smash Bros. Confirmed.
Because of the previous mention that, whatchamacallit, Dante would have to be on the Switch first.
That's right.
So, there you go. Soft confirm. Here's the weird part. Why not the trilogy? Why one?
So they can sell them each? Or so they can just do 1, 3? And then maybe hope to see if the Switch can handle 4?
If the cost of 1 and the cost of 3 is cheaper than buying the trilogy, then gamers win.
If the cost of 1 and the cost of 3 is more than buying the trilogy, gamers still
so that you can have the perfect collection.
I would like to buy a $5 DLC that locks out the ability that plays DMC 2.
See, what you guys don't understand here is that if they sold you the trilogy, that would mean having to own 2. And quite frankly, no one wishes that upon you.
Nuh-uh.
We want to give you the opportunity to selectively only buy 1, 3, and then move on to 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Nintendo's looking out for you.
It's probably so they can sell them in batches.
Yeah.
This is likely a Capcom test, as always.
Yeah.
Because everything's always a Capcom test.
Would you like to see DMC1 revisited in any way?
Nope.
Just leave it alone?
It's fine as is.
I would like to see some more costumes. Just for funsies.
Sure.
All right. So that's there.
The fuck's up with these birds?
They're trying to live their best life.
They're going nuts.
Yeah.
I thought birds are supposed to chirp in the morning and wake you up.
No, it's nice outside.
It's really nice outside.
So that's why they're chirping. Did you know though?
Don't care for birds.
Birds aren't real. Did you know about that?
All right. Tell me. I wasn't informed.
r/birds aren't real.
That's a whole okay.
You wanna fucking talk about flat Earth? You want to talk about chemtrails? You want to talk about Sandy Hook?
Yeah.
You want to talk about vaccines?
Yeah.
That's all fucking.
That's weak shit.
That is beginner baby bullshit.
Yeah, well, get
Baby's
ready for
first conspiracy.
Get ready for the fucking truth that birds aren't real.
Galaxy fucking brain, 200 IQ. Birds aren't real.
All right, let's hear it. How come?
They're robots. They're not real.
Oh, they're all. Oh, Jesus.
They're all spying on us at all times.
Oh, wow.
It's just advanced drone technology.
That's existed since literally forever.
You can't prove it otherwise.
I really can, actually. It'll be gross, but I can't.
I mean, there's one of those petty arcade books of the compilation, collections of their comics over the years was accurately titled "Birds Are Weird."
They're fucking weird.
And I've always
It's the fourth
subscribed to that. Yeah,
it's the gray one.
Oh, you know I
have it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Same here. But the evolution really is they're not just weird. They're not real.
I said somewhere that I don't care for birds because they're the only animal type that en masse refuse to acknowledge the ascendancy of man because flight is really good. And their ability to just fly away from us instead of dealing with our bullshit is high.
Probably one of the single funniest fake conspiracies I've ever seen. It's fucking
Is this all jokes? Or?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Okay, well, dude, I don't know anymore.
Yes, it is. Yes.
People are talking about the fucking flat Earth, man.
But it's fucking great. It's great.
Is flat Earth just jokes?
Yeah. I wish I could condescendingly say yes.
Is it all just jokes on the internet, man?
I really wish I could.
We're not taking it for real, right?
I really wish I could. But they're not real, though. And the thing to do is, anytime someone posts anything anywhere about, fucking whatever.
Yo, you just get in there and it's like, but what about the bird drones?
Yeah. Well, there's someone put a camera on the back of a pigeon, and then they put footage up, and it's 4 seconds of footage, and it's perfectly still, and it's you see the bird's head not moving, and it's why are you just lying? What are you fucking doing? You put a drone with a fake pigeon head on it, and then acted, and it's no, and then someone was here's some real footage of a camera on the back of a pigeon's back, and you see the guy lets it go, and the footage is just it's gross. It's everywhere, and it's loud, and it's fucking just
terrible. It's worthless.
And the head is bobbing, and it's just nonsense. And I'm yeah, that's what it's like. Actually, that's what that looks like. And here now, you just go well, why would you make that video if not to further the conspiracy that you put a camera on your camera because birds aren't fucking real?
So that's mind control noise outside? The bird chirping?
The HARP system.
All right.
The weather.
All right, Jesse. We need to talk.
I was a fighter and a Navy SEAL.
War's over, buddy.
Now I'm off the grid.
What made him nuts?
Couple of bumps.
Is it the bumps?
CTE.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Because he took some bumps before the bumps.
And then he took some afterwards.
Yeah.
And then he was a G.I. Joe. And those were the worst bumps of all. because, Cobra. So.
And the Predator gave him some bumps, too.
Bunch of slack-jawed fools around here.
So you did that thing where I hear slut and I go, You got me. Just like every time we talk about Plague's shirt. No way, bro.
Let's take some emails.
Hey, we got emails now. If you want to send in an email, you can send that into castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. You can send that into castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. We might read some of your emails if they have an interesting question or cool story associated with them. Like that time you were at a convention and had to explain what Plague of Gripes' NWF shirt meant to someone's mom. And what that shit was about. Why is he making such a funny face?
No way fuggins, says the chat.
I see that. I see that. That's good. That's good. Eli doesn't know him, but hey, it works.
We got one coming in from Taris.
Oh, cool. The city survived. Hey, I did it.
Der Castile's Superb Bastille.
I'm
pulling from the archives a bit, but Pat's Family Pie story had me heated.
Oh, man.
Thinking about it. For the record, I'm in a camp slicing it 6 ways so that you can satisfy the OCD and keep the distribution even.
Mom just wanted the 4th piece, dude.
I, anyway, have my own food-based argument. Boyfriend and I disagree about the pancakes and waffles,
All right.
whether or not they are dessert. I wholly am convinced that they are, and he cannot be swayed. We have reached a tenuous peace on the grounds that specific toppings make them desserts, like chocolate chips and whipped cream. I hold their desserts even when served with maple syrup.
You're fucking nuts.
Please help us settle once and for all. Thanks for the content and entertaining this most serious nonsense.
Pancake by itself ain't a fucking dessert, but you go to a breakfast place and they throw fucking chocolate chips and fucking whipped cream on that shit. You're fucking kidding yourself. That's not a dessert in the morning.
Taris, you need to wake the fuck up and recognize that a pancake is absolutely breakfast, and you're wildly insane if you think otherwise.
Like, you go have a crepe that's like, it's got raspberry filling and the whipped cream and a fucking chocolatey... It's like, okay, that's a candy.
A waffle is also breakfast.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If you make it a dessert waffle with the chocolate and the whipped cream with the cherry on it...
You've made it a dessert waffle, thus denoting the dessert adjective as the modifier to the breakfast waffle.
That is by default a breakfast food. Grow the fuck up.
You're full of shit. Both of you. You're both full of shit.
Next. Nico says, hey guys, how come you don't like Yukari? She's cute, has fun moments, and is developed as a character. You just mad because she dunks on Junpei? Let's keep this one really, really short. I hate the fact that the game forces you to make out with her and forces her to be a fake-like relationship, despite the fact that you are clearly interested in other people in your choices.
Yeah.
I don't like games where they force you to have a love interest that might not be your love interest.
All right.
I think that shit's bullshit. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, I don't like the things she says or her as a person.
All right.
The end.
I'll shorten that for you. My dad! My dad is dead and I hate him so much! That's why we don't like Yukari.
P.S.
And Yumi.
P.S. The answer.
Oh.
You want the Yukari show? You got it. What's the point of making relationships?
I don't know, man. It's a human thing.
If you're gonna then pick one to be the one that matters the most, that you're gonna shove down the player's throat, even if they don't want it at all in any way, shape, or form.
I don't fucking know.
I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey had a similar problem.
Yeah, sure. Assassin's Creed Odyssey had it the worst ever.
Yeah, I heard. Gotta get that baby, though.
Gotta get that baby. No matter what you're doing
gotta
on the
get
side,
that
gotta
baby.
get that baby.
You gotta get the baby.
Listen, honey, I know you weird shit. Whatever. You got the family line.
Yes, go out there, be an assassin, sow your royal oats, do your thing, but it's all just a phase because at the end of the day, gotta get that baby.
Gotta get some grandkids in here.
Come on now, who we kidding? See all that empty space down there? That's space where a baby could be. I heard about that. That shit was wild.
People are fucking pissed.
That shit was wild.
They were right to be fucking pissed.
Could you imagine playing your whole story being like
exclusively gay?
Nah,
just 100%.
Not interested. And like every once in a while, like a dick comes from the side of the screen, and you're just like, no. And then another one comes in like Luca, like no, just swatting it away. No, thank you.
Gross.
And then one is like, no, but this one has a baby though.
I could get pregnant from that one. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's Reichs. Yikes. So anyway, and I want to say there's another game I played where I really got upset at being forced together, where the game was trying to do this, but I don't remember.
It was Beyond Two Souls.
Ah, thank you very much.
I know, because me and Paige played through it a couple months ago, and she was having the similar, like, what? No! Like, just can't. Just like, God, that dude's a scumbag. He's so gross.
Can we get a no, Luca, no, except it's your womb? Yikes. Oh,
yeah,
Assassin's Creed.
the little womb hand comes out and bats it away.
No.
The defense bees are asleep.
Terrible.
That's that. You know what? That's not for you. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the defense bees.
Inferring, and yeah, no, I probably get it though.
Yeah. The uterus has defense bees.
Yeah, exactly. That's 100%.
Yeah, they defend.
1000% what I thought was happening there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You got to get the honey to bait them out.
Wait, what? How?
Or flowers, rather. Do flowers bait them out? Is that why flowers are romantic?
You're expecting a fucking... Yeah, you know what? Woolie's right. The flowers lull the bees into a sense of calmness,
and they vacate.
They vacate
the hive
temporarily,
and leaving it open,
leaving it unprotected
and vulnerable. See, you thought it wasn't for me. And I just took that shit and 2.0'd it.
Oh, I hate it. Oh, this is bad. This is a bad thought to do.
Dear Basil Cooper Ceased.
These are terrible.
Everyone seems to... I mean, a lot of people have the same thought where if they mix the letters around.
Yeah, you Mad Libs that.
You were talking the other week about gamer marketed accessories.
Sure
and I
was
thinking about rebranding the rebranding of Mountain Dew Game Fuel. In the States, Game Fuel was once sold in the fall season as 2 flavors, citrus, cherry, and something else. And a different game would be on the can each year, mainly stuff like Forza, COD, Halo, etc. Early this year, they rebranded it to be an energy drink. But friends, this is an energy drink for gamers. The drink apparently has ingredients shown to improve accuracy and alertness, and even has, I shit you not, a tactile grip, which is just texturing on the sides, resealable tech, i.e. a weird sliding tab that keeps it from spilling, which is actually nice. But
yeah,
the new Gamer Fuel also has a fucking atrocious ad, which I have linked down here, but I'll go ahead and spoil that the titles of these ads are Win Sauce and Loser Tears. It also has a ridiculous amount of sugar, of course, so for your sake, please stay away. So, yeah, I didn't have to hear about this existence to already know that it existed. Because Gamer Fuel is a thing.
So many people have been asking me about the cube. Including people I never would have expected. People want cubes, and they want gamer cubes. It's actually they want cubes, and they are kind of grossed out that it's a gamer cube. But yeah.
Well, what about drinking Gamer Fuel in your Gamer Cube?
Red Bull's my gamer fuel of choice.
Does it have tactile grip?
Nah, but I got tiny hands. It works.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
I don't like character action. The reason might shock you.
All right. I'm ready to be surprised.
Hello there, one and a half man. Thiago here. Clickbait title aside, I wanted to bring up an issue I have with character action games. The problem is that the category in itself and not the games in it. I, for one, love all the DMC, MGR, and BAOs in the world, but at the end of the day, they're just good action games with good combat engines. My main source is the issue of the title character action. All it does is let action games be subpar action, like New God of War, Bamhams, what have you. What's Bamhams? I don't know what Bamhams is. Get away.
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Lets you get away with it because they aren't character action. Every time I bring this up, I'm usually met with, well, try harder difficulties because normal combat is brainless, which I don't think is a good point.
Oh, Batman. He's talking about Batman.
Oh, okay. I don't think this is a good point. When all these have already have harder difficulties, the point is moot in my book. What do you think?
He describes God of War as an action game and not an whatever. God of War is an action adventure. It places a significant degree of its gameplay loop and experience
on the adventure part.
Adventuring, as in level traversal, occasional puzzles, etc. The reason why character action games are labeled character action games is because their design is almost entirely laser focused on your character, what they can do, what happens to them, etc. The character action definition is like basically how long is your character's move list? Is it like 50% of the game's total mechanics are things that you can do with a press of a button? That's a character action game. If it's like, I don't know, a side-scrolling beat-em-up in which the distinction is you have a limited moveset and the enemies have their own limited movesets, that's a beat-em-up. There's a reason for that. That's why the original God of War games could be technically classified under character action adventure. But the new God of War is absolutely, explicitly action adventure.
Okay, so you let them off the hook when they're hybrid adventure games.
What do you mean let them off the hook?
Like if you're playing a game, like if you're playing like Zelda, not Zelda, but if you're playing a game where you've got a jump button and an attack button and maybe like another attack button, but for the most part, you're looking at. I'm thinking of like, you know, like let's say PS2, PS1, like Medieval or something where you're just you're just platforming and sorting enemies and it's just a normal video game.
I call Medieval like a platform, honestly.
Platformer,
yeah. It's weird. That game's weird.
I'm trying to find the perfect like thing where the platforming is a part of it but not most of it, but it's just you just kind of beat shit up and you know, like I'm trying to find an example, right, of like a forgettable action game.
A task that is obviously hard because they're forgettable.
But not one where you have guns because that just turns it into a shooter.
What about Fighting Force or fucking MK Special Forces?
Right, so beat 'em ups, you know.
Oh yeah.
But effectively,
action is too broad.
Kingdom Hearts 1.
That's an RPG.
Kingdom Hearts has RPG elements to it. Remember Me.
I don't know.
Remember Me.
Nothing is an action game anymore.
Yeah, Remember Me is definitely that one where you're like, I would have called it a beat 'em up, except that like it came out way later and has things that, Remember Me, I guess, is one of those bits. It could be that. Could be something like that. That's a good pick. But the point remains, you know, he's kind of saying effectively that like character action games are actually just really good action games.
Yeah, the problem is that genres in video games suck ass. That's the real problem. Because in film and literature and every other thing, your genre is decided by your tone.
The other problem is
not where the camera is,
or how arbitrary it is, whether you've pinned slash to the button press or to selecting the slash attack.
It's you know,
or whether time stops between actions or it doesn't.
Games are the only ones in which genre is devoted to like a mechanical
technical
thing.
mechanical thing.
It's like the way people classify cars. But cars don't have tones. It's a fucking car.
Is every game where you control a car a racing game?
No.
Rocket League exists.
Yeah. Is Burnout even a racing game?
Not certain modes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting argument.
I think getting all butthurt over genres in games is a fool's errand because they're terrible.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. I'm not too sure about this one. I'd have to look at a bunch of examples in front of me and think about it a little bit.
You want to know how bad game genres are? What's an RPG?
A role-playing game.
Yeah?
You play a role in every game you play.
Is Breath of the Wild an RPG? Get ready for that argument to go forever, and I'm not even willing to have it anymore.
I remember when Tips and Tricks classified Ocarina of Time as an action-adventure game.
Yeah.
And that, to me, has been what Zelda is
sure.
forever, because that's what I read in Tips and Tricks one time. If you see damage numbers, does that make a difference?
Yeah. See damage numbers in Monster Hunter.
You see them in Battle Fantasia.
Wait, fucking seriously?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, they put them in because they thought girls would like it more.
Girls do like numbers.
Like, director of the game specifically said we put numbers on display because it would look like an RPG.
I spoke to a girl once, and she told me she liked numbers.
Fantastic. There you go. He was right.
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah, man. I don't know. Let's take one here from Ground Awesome says, arcade story. A few years ago, I went to an arcade for the first time in nearly 20 years. There's never one near me. I played a few rounds of Street Fighter 3, got my ass handed to me by the computer. Wandered off and played some other games. Later, I saw a guy playing against the CPU. He was 4 to 5 rounds deep in the arcade, more than I ever got. And the most recent round, he got a perfect against the CPU of my main, who was Remy, even though I don't want to call him a main because I suck, so it's a huge stretch.
Fair enough.
I wanted to try playing against the human, so I came up and I said, hey, do you mind if I play? It really sucks. You probably beat me, no problem. He agreed, and then I started beating him. I felt bad because I just said how I was so bad, so I ended up throwing the match. You guys seem more competitive, but I wonder if something like this has ever happened to you guys. Love, thanks. No, I don't relate to that at all.
I remember in the past playing with friends and not doing it out of a moral obligation or anything like that, but like they seem to be getting discouraged. Maybe I'm going to ease off a bit. Stop doing that real quick because, boy, nothing gets people more pissed than being, like, fucking pity fucked with in a game.
You know what?
Everyone's done it. Don't tell me you haven't done that.
Yeah, you just reminded me of a nice big one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. You see, every Friday... no, we're not doing that.
It was DBZ, was that match, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah,
it's not that.
Yeah, you fucking...
No, but I remember when we would play certain games, and like we play like Marvel or something.
So, dude,
and
Marvel
it was just like
no one had a fucking chance.
And I was like, yeah, this is the game I've been fucking trying to enter tournaments for and playing.
Yeah,
and
like
whatever.
this is a fucking joke.
Just gonna what do you want me? What do you want me to say? Right, whatever. Right.
Of course, you got to take it easy. Like one step easier.
And it didn't change the results much, but regardless,
no, just drop the combo once in a while.
But the amount of folks, and this was back in the this was around early Machinima days too.
Yeah.
So this was people kind of
way
like
back. Yeah.
Still kind of getting to know or know who I am or whatever. This was this was the era of I hate that Wooly tries to take control of the podcast so much. He should just sit back and enjoy the ride. It's not his show.
It is your show.
It's that era.
It's okay.
Right? And
it's always been your show.
And so, there was a really, really, really large collection of, like surprising amounts of shit and anger from me just playing to win in those situations. And
so
they enjoyed watching the video less as a result.
I wonder How much of that is any lingering personal dislike for you from whatever? And how much of that is just simply, I don't like it when people play to win against me because then I lose?
I think it's because it's like, oh, I might have reminded them of the guy that in college would always just crush everybody and make it not fun to play Smash or something. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and guess that's what it is. But
and
either way,
too.
It was very, very, very venomous. More so than usual.
Did you see?
And it was something that I never really talked about this much, but I'll bring it up here because whatever, it was back then. But this type of thing would happen, and like so, and it particularly, some people would latch on to the whole Wooly picks bosses joke and go really, really extreme with it to the point where like some of it landed on scrub quotes because of how angry some people were about some fisticuffs episodes and stuff. So
I'm going to scrub quotes right now, actually.
I mean, it was way back when, but it kind of got wacky, right?
I've been on scrub quotes.
Yeah,
Plague's been on scrub quotes.
Yeah,
like.
So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there came a certain point where I was like, well, I think the thing to do is to not necessarily pick your main, just random select, fly around the roster, talk while you're playing, don't pay too much attention to the results, and just hit those buttons and do your thing. Which I pretty much did for every episode afterwards.
Yeah.
Because...
And then if we ever ran into
I'm not gonna lie, I felt really bad taking all that heat in.
Yeah.
Because I care a lot about fighting games.
Yeah.
So I decided to just random select and don't care and just talk and who cares, whatever. Oh, good job. And just...
That shows
the
ultimate bigness.
And that was every FNF after.
Yeah.
For the rest of the entire franchise.
I saw...
As a result.
On scrub quotes a little while ago.
That's a truth.
This lady wrote in no, she didn't write in. She told a story, I think, on her Instagram. And scrub quotes picked it up. And that's a bit odd to grab an Instagram or a Tumblr story. But it was her describing her breakup with her boyfriend. And that her boyfriend and her loved to play games. And her boyfriend liked to play fighting games. They liked to play Call of Duty, that kind of thing. And
Tetris.
And every now and then,
yes,
they'd play together. And he just absolutely wiped the floor with her. And I was like, it's a good sport. You got me. It's fun. But then Tetris rolls around.
Yes.
And unknown to her boyfriend, like many women, this woman is a pocket champion. Just hiding those fucking dank Tetris skills.
Block beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
I play a couple games of Tetris in which she just wipes the floor with them.
Yeah.
At which point she thinks they're having fun, but then he gets quiet. And quiet. And quiet. And then mad. And then she goes, oh, hey, good games. He goes, whatever. I don't want to play a game against somebody who's always going to win. She goes, oh, okay. He's throwing a tantrum. She goes home. She goes out. I think she turns her phone off. Turns it back on to get messages going, where are you? Why aren't you answering my text? What are you, practicing Tetris so that you'll never lose again?
Yep.
And she goes, and then in comes the text after text after text after text after text.
And he went back to playing other shit on the other side of the house. I remember she mentioned.
At which point she goes, you know what? Fuck this, I'm out. And breaks up with him.
Fantastic.
And just like, some people just can't lose. They will not allow themselves to lose.
And here's the thing, right? That if you're willing to react that way to the person you're in a relationship with,
how are you going to react to some random person?
Of course you're fucking cutting that cord. Of course you're pulling that Ethernet cable out. Of course you're telling them to go fuck themselves and writing a message afterwards.
You're flipping that Yu-Gi-Oh table.
You're yelling at your fucking girl over her crushing you in Tetris. What chance did you have against a rando that was actually better than you?
This
ego, hubris, all of it.
You beat me at Pokemon. I'm gonna poop in my hand and throw it at you.
God, fragile little boy. What a fucking tot. You know, amazing. I love that tweet so much. It was
unbelievable.
Great. It was great.
It's a reminder that every now and then you think someone's being facetious, you think somebody's hyperbolic, but yes, people like this do exist.
But also,
they are real.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, hand in hand, there's a lot of unexpected gods in Tetris out there.
Oh, they're everywhere. You'll never know.
There's a lot of people that got that Game Boy and never played anything else, and you need to fucking just accept it. You know? Because that original is like the hardest one.
Yeah, because it's bullshit.
Well, that's not true, because the Grandmaster and the crazy shit that
if
came...
my sister had kept playing games...
Terror Instinct and all that nonsense.
If my sister had kept playing games, she fell off, like... when she was in her early teens, but had she kept going with it, she'd probably be wiping the floor with you in Tetris.
I believe
she was fiending all over that shit.
I believe
she's
it.
like a genius or some shit.
I mean, I lived and breathed it for a while, but then I stopped.
Yeah.
Anyone that didn't automatically
ascends to God's
That's
status.
the end of that, you know. Yeah, that's a fun story. So there you go. And let's take one last one here from well, if you don't leave a name, I'm not going to read out your email. So
from some nameless fool.
Their baby jokes are always funny, crew.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
Longtime fan. Since the release of Dead Space 2 on Machinima. Love you guys. Wife and I have been having a disagreement about the song Weight of the World.
All right. Careful reading this.
Near Automata since its release. I love the song so much that sometimes I sing it to myself with the game in mind and my eyes tear up a bit.
Okay.
My wife hates it, even though we both fairly fall into the same geek category and most of the time share the same music taste. It does burn me a little because of how much I love the song. And her. So my question is... Dumper, no. My question is...
Divorce is always on the table.
What is something you love but your significant other has the opposite feelings about, and how did you go about it? So I have two recent ones that come to mind here. And it's hilarious because you know Steph.
I do?
Right? The moment anything is even slightly, like, disagreeable in some way, she's just like, oh, well, it's not for me.
She's a very pleasant person.
And so I own two articles of clothing in particular. One of them is I have a bunch of suits and shit.
Yeah.
And to go with some of those suits, because for a while I didn't have any church shoes because, you know, fuck that. But now that I've got my suits again, I want shoes to match because can't really rock Evangelion Swiss, you know. You can, and I did. But I eventually wanted to have something else. So I got a pair of dress shoes that are suede.
Yeah.
And they're like single cut, you know, piece. And I think they look pretty nice. They're pretty cool. And for the most part, others have agreed that, like, yeah, those are cool. And every time I put them on, she's like, oh, okay, you know.
Oh, yeah?
And a little bit, you know. And I was like, eventually I was like, you have a problem with these shoes? She's like, what? No. I'm like, do you like these shoes? And she's like, well, they're different.
Oh.
I'm like, hold up. Scratch that. Stop.
They're fine. They're fine.
You know? And I'm like, I think they're different, you know? And I'm like, they're different from good? And she just, I had to
drag it.
Squeeze it out like an orange, just fucking pulp it, you know? And I couldn't get it until like later on that evening when someone else went, oh yeah, hey, look, cool shoes. And I was like, can you say that again a little bit louder for the people in the back? And I grabbed her over, you know? And I was just like, say it. And she's like, no. I'm like, say it. It's like, I don't want to. And it just won't do it, you know? And then it happened again because I got me a pair of like red jeans that are kind of like Eeyore-ish.
Sure.
And I think they're pretty cool. Minus they don't have the little fucking strap thing, but they're cool, just red jeans to go with certain shirts that I have that would work with that color combination.
Sure.
And I got the same face again. And I was just like, you don't fucking like me wearing these jeans, do you? You know, it's like, I think they're a different style, and I think that's fine. It doesn't matter what I think. And I'm like, no, say it. Say you hate the jeans. He's like, I don't hate the jeans. I'm like, what the? Can't get it out there. But yes, certain articles of clothing, I will occasionally get a weird look or noise. And then as soon as I notice it, it becomes like the back down game. And I'm just like, I want to hear the truth. Give me the fucking truth. And I can't get it. So yeah, that's the closest I can think of.
So to answer your question, if me and my significant other ever disagree strongly on any particular point and how we deal with it, I would point you to twitch.tv/angriestpet and or twitch.tv/peachsaliva.
And click on any one of those videos.
Click on literally any video ever. Here's how it goes. Woman, are you drinking mustard out of the bottle like some kind of fucking freakazoid salt-obsessed Neanderthal? And she goes, yeah, fuck you, bitch. What are you going to do about it? Fight me, bitch. And I go, I should fucking fight you. And she'll go, yeah. And then I go, yeah. And then we pet our cat.
I'm a big fan of throwing out every once in a while if it's contextually accurate.
Yeah.
Act like you've been around people.
The problem is we've been around our people. Our people is like this.
There you go.
Pat, why are you like this? Why do you gotta sleep in the bed like a fucking crazy person? Because I like the envelope, woman. The envelope keeps you safe. Why you gotta move the covers around? You're fucking crazy. Just sit in the same place and sleep like a fucking vampire, like a normal person. What? A normal person sleeps like a vampire with their elbows to their sides, clasp over their chest like a fucking crazy. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a lot faster than your method. You need the speed.
And I want to throw a little PS in there and say, did she watch you play Nier?
She was there for about half of it.
No. I'm talking to the person who wrote the letter in.
Oh, yeah.
Because is it possible that, like, not giving a fuck is based on not getting the context? Because that might be part of it. But either way, it's beautiful. But yeah.
So yeah, these are the two ways you could deal with this.
The hard way and the brutal way.
I would highly suggest Wooly's Manor. It takes a certain personality type to do it my way.
Takes some stamina. You gotta pump that stam.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Or endurance. I don't know which one.
Whatever, man.
Okay.
It's a sex joke.
Not where I was going. I meant mental wherewithal.
Yeah,
to enter your home.
That's what I'm talking about.
The place of peace that you're supposed to
you know what
use. The place of peace where you're supposed to rest and bring all of your chakras back to the center.
Go fuck yourself. Oh my god.
To enter the home.
Holy shit.
And instead of hearing the Flutter theme or the fucking save room theme,
oh my god,
you hear the boss encounter music.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, that takes
invigorating.
That takes a certain kind of build.
Yeah, it does.
Takes a certain kind of build.
Relationships don't need an easy mode, man. Come on.
That's not what I'm saying. I have save rooms. They're far and few in between.
Oh man.
But when I enter those doors, I need that music playing. I really, really need it.
Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for the fallout from this conversation.
What's going down? I mean, it's happening live. She's in the chat.
Yeah, she's in the chat. She's, like, on the block.
Fuck.
She's, like, 150 feet away from us right now.
Okay, well.
I'm going to walk out. I texted her, by the way. I'm like, by the way, I'm talking mad shit about you.
I'm surprised I didn't hear them boots.
Oh, those I haven't seen those in a while. I think they got thrown out.
She coming. All right. Let's wrap.
I love that woman so much.
Let's wrap it up so you can go deal with that shit.
Oh, couldn't be happier.
Yeah. I'll take the construction noises from this morning.
Oh, fuck yourself. What, you can't handle a little conflict?
Saw.
Oh.
All right. Let's anything. Yeah, whatever. Let's just call it there.
Okay, the podcast is over.
Bye.
Bye.